Heyo.
Hello.
Hi.
Hello.
And fuck.
This.
Movie.
Oh, yeah.
So professional.
Yes. Just like that.
It's like we've done this before.
Yeah.
We've gotten it
32 times previously.
Yeah. Gotten it right like 5.
So, a few quick pleasantries.
Pleasantries indeed.
He's the man who watched everything, Mr. Reese Anweiler.
Howdy.
He's too old to be cool, Mr. John Brown.
That's me.
And I need no introduction. So, what have you guys been watching? Been watching some movies? It's been an extra week
Yeah.
since we normally do this. Okay.
What haven't I been watching? Might be a faster question to
I
answer.
watched
honestly.
an ass ton myself, like just a bunch.
Well, good. I have fewer things.
Good.
I'm gonna cover a good 5. Is my use. That's become my policy. Pick a good
Yeah,
5.
I'm gonna cover like 5 or 6, but I'm gonna cover them very poorly,
Okay.
and it's not gonna take much time.
Ooh, I don't know. I'll try and get it down to 5.
I mean, you don't have to.
I'm gonna say
That's
things
just my
like
personal.
next gen is just Big Hero 6.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, with the cooler soundtrack.
Maybe. I don't remember the soundtrack for either
I don't remember
movie.
the soundtrack for Big Hero 6 either. Oh, it's
I never
Fall Out
watched
Boy.
Big Hero 6, so I don't know.
You should watch Big Hero 6 because you recommended
Yeah.
next gen to me, and Big Hero 6 is, kind of a better version, and
Uh-oh.
it happened
Better.
before, so next gen is kind of a ripoff of Big Hero 6. That's
Well,
what I'm getting
I'll have to watch that and then let you know how I feel about that assessment.
Okay.
You want to go first, Dustin?
Yeah, I'll go first. So I watched Next Gen off John's recommendation. It was good. Big Hero 6 also was good. So they aren't identical, but
I mean, does the other one involve like a madman trying to literally wipe out humanity?
yes.
Yeah. Okay.
I don't remember if he's trying to wipe out humanity, but there is like a mad kind of. Well, not mad,
I mean,
but there's
of
an
course
evil
there's
billionaire
some, like,
scientist.
even evil billionaire guy. But like,
Yeah.
what I appreciate about Next Gen is that it's just the gravity of it is this guy is literally trying to exterminate humanity.
Yeah.
So it's quite a bit of gravitas as far as
Yeah.
a family flick goes.
Yeah. So I find we went to the theater. We saw A Quiet Place Day 1.
Okay. Still haven't seen it. I haven't.
Yeah, it's kind of a Quiet Place movie. John and I had talked a little bit,
Right.
leading up to me watching it, about how involved the cat would be, and we were saying that like the best movie would be like just following the cat. Like the cat gets people into trouble and like just fucks off, and then
It's like
everybody dies in its wake. And it wasn't exactly that.
it's like a third-person shooter, but you're just following the cat.
Yeah.
As
Yeah.
like
Our
there's
idea,
explosions and murder around him.
our idea was
Hello,
good,
listener.
but
Didn't
the
happen.
problem is that the people in this movie are so good at killing themselves that they don't have time to wait around for a cat to make noise and do it for
Yeah.
them. Like,
Well, even if it was just a cat observing people getting murdered, would have been acceptable. Is that pretty much what it was? Like just observing these idiots do idiotic
no,
shit?
like the cat has an owner, but like the cat just kind of does his own thing and then like reappears, and like the cat shows up to like new character and meets the new character, and then like that new character eventually meets the cat's owner. It's like the
Right.
cat's just kind of like connecting people in a way. I don't know.
Yeah.
It was really, the cat's really not important, honestly.
I
think
wouldn't
mentioned it.
think that it would be too important.
But
would've
we
been
talked
cool
about
if
it,
it
and
was.
so I thought it was notable.
Yeah. No,
to
I would
talk
have liked
about
to
it.
go that direction. with it.
Quiet Place Day 1. I don't know, ranking it among the Quiet Place franchise. It is part of the franchise, even though it's more like a spinoff.
I would imagine the best of the franchise would be the first.
It is just the first one.
Yeah.
It is the first one. This is better than the second one.
Because the
Well,
second
that's
one,
encouraging at least.
the second one to me just was like, it was fine. It was well produced. It was what you expect it to be, but also in the not good way that I would expect a second in a franchise to be a
Yeah.
lot lazier in the
Well, let's
writing.
just do it all again.
And it definitely was lazier in the writing, so that's why the second one really pissed me off because it got like The first one had some cute elements to it. The second one just got downright lazy.
Yeah.
Just like, hey, it came on a boat. It just happened to flop in
Yeah.
a boat. And the boat
I know
happened
you
to come
hate that
over you.
particular part of it.
I do. It makes the whole thing fall apart.
So we also watched kind of in the same stratosphere, or I had always thought, I put it off for so long, Bird Box.
No, that movie's so annoying too.
Yeah, it's like a
Jesus.
knockoff of Quiet Place.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's in
A
the
Quiet
worst
Place
way.
Day One better than Bird Box.
Dude,
That's-
by a mile.
Nice.
Bird Box is embarrassing for Netflix, honestly.
It's I don't know. It's just
The thing
nothing
is,
really happens.
well,
Like,
it was for
there
me.
should be more suspense built with the world that they've
Yeah.
created
No,
than what
they-
exists in this movie.
They had a cool concept for these creatures, but they didn't stick to most of the concept for the creatures, and were really lazy with the presentation of the situation. And like, it got super annoying. One thing too, the bird never actually mattered to as far as like the creatures go. Like the bird alerted them about a person,
Yeah.
not a creature. Then they just had a bird for a long time. They didn't actually do anything. They just had it. But the whole like creature design, it's like,
Well,
oh,
I thought the birds were like going off every time as the creatures were like near.
yeah.
Like,
From my memory, and it's been a while since I watched it.
yeah.
But the
I
only
think,
time
I think there
remember,
are instances of the birds going
Ah,
off when the
okay.
creatures are near.
Well, so the thing though
but
is
it's
they don't-
still stupid. And
they
doesn't
don't
make
need
sense.
it because there's other shit that happens when the creatures are near.
Yeah,
You see
it's,
shit flitter up and around, and so
Yeah.
like
Yeah.
they create this idea that along with it, they give you the best way to just deal with it. Like, close your fucking eyes.
Yeah.
Like you see the shit, like you see the little gust of wind and the stuff flittering up. Like,
They're like, oh no, what do I
close
do?
your fucking eyes. Like, close your eyes. That's all you have to do. No, it's a very frustrating.
Can
movie.
I give a hot take here?
Yeah.
I think Sandra Bullock's just really overrated.
I've never
yeah.
been like
Yeah.
a huge fan of her.
Yeah.
Like, I feel like, so growing up, my buddy, when I was in high school, like we were like best friends for like 3 years in high school, and he was obsessed with Sandra Bullock, like all the time, everything Sandra Bullock, and like, that was before she started winning Oscars and stuff, and like, I look at her now and everything she does, like back then she was just like the cute, like fun, kind of quirky
Yeah.
girl, you know, and like everything now, she's just got like bitch face. Like she's just trying to be older than what she is and everything that she does.
Dude, so the last time I saw her was at the end of.
There's no cutesiness
Of
to her
Bullet
anymore.
Train.
Bullet Train.
I just thought that like she surgically removed the cutesy with an effort to make herself young, and it just looked like monstrous. She looks so rough at the end of Bullet Train. Like, no offense, Sandra Bullock, but like,
I don't.
there is
I
no
think
cute.
that her age is due more to, I don't want to say performance, but maybe the roles. Like she's choosing these, like she's like putting herself in a box, a bird box, maybe.
yeah,
Putting herself in a box, and like
Yeah,
she
trying
doesn't
to-
do any cutesy things anymore.
no,
like,
trying to make up for the lack
she's
of.
not. She's
serious
not an
roles
adorable
from her
person
early-
anymore. She's
early
just like
shit.
she's on screen, and it's just like she looks pissed off all the time. I
I
don't
was-
know. Just
there
an
was-
observation.
I felt like the movie that came out, was that last year or 2 years ago, that she was in with Channing Tatum, The Lost City.
I haven't seen that one.
No, I don't think I saw
Was she
that
cute in that one? Like, was she doing the I mean, not
I mean,
was
she was
cute physically,
funny
but-
enough, but the movie, it was like a very unfunny person doing an impression of what they think people think is quirky, and it just
Sure.
never really
Mm.
landed. And it never. There was like running jokes that, like, you know, the fucking rule of three that everybody knows, and they would do it like twice.
Yeah.
Mm.
And, or like, you know, they just wouldn't have the payoffs to some of this stuff, and it was never as funny or goofy as it like kind of needed to be to work.
Yeah.
It's because she didn't have the range to do that. I mean,
Yeah.
like, I feel like in her early stuff, she was just kind of probably being herself, really, and now she's like trying to like reach professional.
Yeah. Really,
Like,
just a
goals and stuff, and, like,
a character.
The deeper she
actress
goes,
that
the worse
loves
she
herself.
gets.
Yeah.
I feel like she's been in like several Oscar baity movies that literally just disappeared.
Oh yeah.
Like lately, I think she was in another Netflix movie where like she played like an ex-convict or something.
Yeah, I'm sure she was a bitch in that one too.
Yeah.
I don't know. She's like,
No, I think there is some like compensation for her early career of being like cute and nice and like trying to be like super serious now, and
yeah,
it just doesn't really work because she doesn't have the range.
yeah. And that's really what it's all about is range. Like,
Yeah.
if you want somebody with a quirky, like, get Charlize Theron. That shit can like do anything.
Yeah.
Charlize Theron can do anything.
I think
She's a
Gravity
badass.
is Sandra Bullock's best role.
Yeah.
Yeah. That movie was good.
Looking at
Although I
this.
think that movie she was still kind of a bitch, and I think that movie was more about like really the science. Like, I think it's one of the more.
It was
clever.
more about the spectacle than the performance,
Yeah,
for sure.
It was more about the visuals and the sound, which there's no sound in space. This might be the first movie that ever got that right.
Yeah.
And somehow the sound in the movie is amazing. It's amazing how good the silence sounds.
Yeah.
She was pretty like. I think Speed is probably her like quintessential role.
Yeah, no,
Well,
for sure.
that's what put her on the map,
The
and
pinnacle
that's what-
of her career, really.
Like, people like that character.
Yeah. So
I don't know.
much that they brought her back
Yeah.
for the
So,
sequel.
yeah,
and
Bird
I
Box.
can't-
But I've just kind of had that feeling about her for a
So
while,
good.
and then I watched Bird Box, and that doesn't make me feel like she's just some like old hag who's yelling at her kids the entire movie. Like, she's kind of like just die already. Like, just kill. Just like let your kids look in the rapids, and then he murder you.
Yeah.
And
There
himself.
are certain apocalypses in movies and such where I'm just like, fuck this. Why would you want to survive? Like The Road, the Viggo Mortensen movie, where
yeah,
it's like
that's super fucking
you are
depressing.
like having the worst day of your life every day,
Yeah.
running from cannibals.
Yeah.
No, just die. I would die. I don't want to fucking do that.
Yeah,
No.
Because it just depends on the kind of person you are. Because I'm naturally
I'll run
like,
from some cannibals.
let's make sport out of killing cannibals.
Yeah, could be a thing.
I
The
mean-
cannibals always have better weapons, though. That's the problem.
Oh, not me. I'd be prepared.
Zombies, most zombie movies.
I have a very like serious obsession with the apocalypse, so like I feel pretty ready for it. No matter what it is, I'm down. I'll figure it out.
I don't know. Just some of them. A lot of them are just like.
No, I mean it's a lot.
That was like a running joke in Fallout. Is like, no, you don't understand. This fucking sucks.
Yeah, for sure.
So I got two more things. I finally watched and finished Fall of the House of Usher, the series. Really good. Still not at the level of Haunting the Hill House. I don't think anything that they ever do will be for me, but obviously deserves to be in the conversation, unlike the love story one that really should not even be part of the same universe or whatever. John and I talked about it a little bit, like the last episode, the end where like everybody is like literally just quoting Poe poetry, I thought was a little heavy-handed.
Poetry.
Yeah,
Yuck.
it's I don't know, man. I love Poe, and so like I didn't need that. Like, they had enough references,
Yeah.
like
yeah.
for it to be poetic enough for me. But I guess they wanted to like make a horror movie or a horror series
I
that
mean,
was more
it
approachable
is,
by
like-
more people, and so that people would get all the references. They just give them all out to you there at the end.
I just thought they were really going all in on like the kind of dramatic and campiness of Edgar Allan Poe.
'Cause
like,
I
how
mean-
over the fucking top.
Yeah,
he
Poe is pretty fucking over the top for sure.
Yeah.
So I think that's a fair take on that. I think it's pretty forgivable because it is the shtick. I mean, if you're gonna have a series like this or a production like this that you have a given obvious shtick, like it's fair enough to lean into it. I think like for you, Dustin, somebody that's familiar, it might be tiresome, but it's appropriate enough and forgivable enough, you know, when the rest of the production is as good as it was. So
Yeah.
it was a little bit, but I
never thought of Poe as over the top. I would never say that.
Well, I mean, I guess it's the context from when he was written to now, like, is much more, I mean, kind of everything, like, from a modern lens, looking at, like, 19th century anything, kind of feel, like, from a more modern lens, feel a little bit more over the top because their dialogue was just so much more grandiose. And
The
their
stage
language
acting.
was
And
just
like,
so-
I mean, that's why. Is there anything that Vincent Price was in that is scary by like a modern audience? You know what I mean?
Right.
Like
Mm.
that kind of era. And that's
Yeah.
like Poe is that era also. Like, well, not that era, obviously, timeline wise, but I mean, that kind of like. There are definitely. I mean, Poe, I would say, is probably scarier than a lot of Vincent Price movies because it's written and more psychological. But I don't know. I just a lot of that. Like,
I guess what the series proved to me is what I always kind of knew, which is Edgar Allan Poe is the Bob Dylan of horror. And that, like, it's timeless and that, like, he can be long gone. And,
it'll be adapted forever, man.
Yeah,
like, it's
and maybe, like, there's probably no horror anything that doesn't have some influences of Edgar Allan Poe's work. And so...
No, he definitely accomplished what any artist really is trying to accomplish.
I love
is, like, true immortality.
It would be easy for me to be like, I love Edgar Allan Poe, and I hate like how all the episodes were named after like short stories that he did, and like none of them really play out. Like they all like kind of give a wink to the actual story, but don't actually redo the story. And I really had no problem with that. I thought that was fun. That was cool. I like that.
That's how you keep something like that fresh.
Like
over
the
time.
good usher, like her name was Lenore. That makes sense with the Raven poem. Like just at the so at the end, like it had all these cool little puzzle pieces, and then at the end, it's just like, now we're gonna quote the actual poem, so everybody at home knows that they were actually, in fact, puzzle pieces.
Well, you gotta
look how clever we are.
Well, the thing is, too, though, like how many people fucking read now? You know, like so.
Well, I do. Well, I really don't anymore. I do, but not the same way I did back then. Like I have the complete work of Edgar Allan Poe, and I've read it. But like the kind of reading I do today is very different than the reading I did 20 years ago. Right? A lot of it's digital. A lot of it's on your phone. Like I don't curl up with a book like as often as I used to. I'm normally on vacation when that happens, like on a beach somewhere.
I think it's appropriate enough just because like the producers and the people that, you know, all the people at the helm of this thing, you know, a lot of the potential audience would have never, like they would have only heard of Edgar Allan Poe. Like only a small portion, I would have to say, of 20-year-olds or teenagers have ever actually sat down and read any of this stuff. So that's something too to keep in mind with the presentation, you know, knowing that so many people just would have no idea what this is now, you know. So
the last thing I wanted to mention, I saw Deadpool and Wolverine. I did not go to the theater for it. Do the math on that one.
Wow. Wow.
It was
do as we say, not as we do.
It was celebrated the way it should have been celebrated, I guess. I'm really just off the whole Marvel thing. The movie is like if you like Deadpool stuff, you'll like it. It's more of the same that you got from the first two Deadpool movies.
I thought it was at least funnier than the second one. It's been a while since I rewatched the first one, but I just rewatched
It's pretty
the second
comparable to the second one, I think. It like they distract you from the fact that it's kind of the same movie by throwing the Wolverine character in there. So like you get like it seems more interesting on the surface because you have that. But I also was watching like some kind of like weird bootleg, like I think it was like the Portuguese copy. There would randomly be like Portuguese subtitles where I did not need them, nor would I ever need Portuguese subtitles. But yeah, but hey, the quality was way better than what I ever could have imagined.
For a movie that's only been in theaters for 2 weeks. I also did. I got to see that opening night, and I thought, it got more to the heart of what the Deadpool character is. I think in a fun way, especially like they kind of made the multiverse like hopping stuff the most fun it's been, and it fit really good with like the like weird and goofiness of the Deadpool character. I think they definitely got weighed down by the Marvel stuff, like the TVA. Like the movie grinds to a halt. I'm like, okay, now back to the TVA plot that you
Right.
recognize if you watch
The-
3 of our TV shows.
Sorry if I throw a few spoilers out here, but like, I did enjoy the beginning or like the intro scene where like he's in a graveyard. Like, so if you've ever seen like the what is it, Logan, the last Wolverine movie, which is exceptional. It's one of the best Marvel things they've ever done.
Mm-hmm.
Like, so this kind of intro scene is Deadpool in the graveyard digging up Wolverine. And he's like, oh, these people gave him this beautiful send off. They don't know how regeneration works and all this. And then like, so he digs up the body and like, it's like a fucking completely decayed corpse with a fucking metal endoskeleton. And then like, right as he's like done digging this up and like sad that like his, like, cause he thought he was going to like dig up a friend, I guess. And like,
Right.
then all of a sudden he's assaulted by all these like, I don't know,
TVA agents.
We'll call them Marvel Universe baddies / goodies.
What is it?
The-
Putties.
Yeah,
Marvel
Time
putties.
Marvel
cops.
putties show up, and then like, so he's like desecrating the corpse of Wolverine, like turning like joints into nunchucks, and like like takes off the claws and uses them as gloves, and like that whole scene was like fun. Like I really enjoyed that. Actually, what that opening scene reminded me of was the Dungeons and Dragons movie.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I got like serious like vibe, like the, you know, having fun with the dead, you know, kind of thing.
Yeah.
From that scene. I definitely got that vibe, but I don't know, man. Like these Marvel movies are it's just a formula. You introduce some bad guy, and then,
I think it's harder for
you
them
have
to
some
really hit
laughs
home
along
for
the
people that
way.
aren't already like fans of the shit. And so we've had 20 years of this shit. And for people that are like not true fans of comic book stuff, like they probably got some of us here or there on some of it. Like, oh, this is pretty cool. You know, I'm not really super familiar with this universe or care that much about these characters, but this was good. But like that was like 5 years in, you know, and like 10 years in, they might have another one that's like, this is still pretty good. But,
just
like,
do
it's
something else, man.
for
Just go do
people,
something else.
It will hit more for the people that are fans of this thing already, but I feel like they've definitely worn their welcome out with people that were like fringe, like either not fans of the shit or fringe fans of the shit, and we're just getting tired now, you know, like, 'cause I've never been a comic book guy. I've enjoyed some comic book stuff, but after so long and so many different revisions and reboots and yada yada yada, it's like it's got to really be something special to give a shit about, and they just aren't really doing that. But the ones that do stand out, I think we're stuck, like we're now to the point where the best of this formula is the ones that make fun of itself, like this one does, and like the Suicide Squad from James Gunn. Like those are the only ones I really, if you can't make fun of it, then I don't think it's interesting at all. Like watching any of these stories told seriously, I'm personally out on.
Well, yes and no. I mean, I definitely don't like for one thing, I am very tired of every single fucking movie trying to save the world. Like that's annoying. That's dumb.
Tell another story.
You know,
Just tell another
and
story.
like Deadpool, the real thing I did not enjoy is the plot is to destroy the entire multiverse. And then they even like shine a light on like, oh, are you guys tired of the multiverse? Like, fuckers, you made the movie.
Yeah.
Like, I am tired of trying to threaten the multiverse because I can't grasp that. You could say you're going to destroy all of fucking Indiana, and I can't grasp that.
It's just
too
their
big,
algorithm, man.
you know?
It's like it's their formula. They don't know how to do it any other way.
No,
You could have made a much better movie if it was if they did like a Deadpool in therapy, and they did like the Sopranos version of Deadpool, where like we catch on the other inner workings of his mind.
Yeah, get away from that, like the scope of it, and just focus on the characters.
The scope,
'cause the
really,
characters are what's interesting.
But they're never going to do that because, you know, then people don't pay money to go see it in the theater. I will say, though, I felt like dirty because I knew what I was sitting down to watch when I sat down to watch it. Like, man, I'm really going to, like, watch at home a movie that came out, like, yesterday.
Mm-hmm.
And then, like, after the movie was over, I'm like, it's fine. It's what Marvel movies are. It's a nice 3 to 3.5 star popcorn flick. I watched it the right way, I think.
I'll also say, like, if you're tired of superhero movies, just stop watching superhero movies.
Yeah,
Yeah,
you
that's,
know,
that's
like,
true too. For
I
sure.
have. I really have. I don't
no,
consider Deadpool a
this is
superhero
like
movie.
A broad statement. You know, you. I think you did the right thing. Don't spend money on something
Yeah.
if you're going to be grudgingly
Yeah,
like,
yeah, exactly.
oh,
yeah.
okay, here I go. Got to
Yeah.
keep up on. Like, don't. Nobody's making you fucking keep up on these superhero movies. I understand that it's a lot of movies. So like,
Yeah.
if you don't watch them, then you're kind of SOL on
for
something
for
to watch.
me,
but-
I'm at the point where I want to watch this one and I will enjoy it because I like that character. I like the shit that pokes fun at itself. I
Yeah.
really enjoyed the Suicide Squad for that reason. Like, I just look at how ridiculous all this is. It's not take any of this shit seriously because there's nothing to take serious. Stop taking any of it seriously. Like, that's the stuff that I enjoy in that universe is when you just stop.
Like they've kind of they've also become unrecognized. It's like Blue Beetle and Madam.
Well, because they're
I was gonna say
they've
Madam
done
Butterfly.
the big characters fucking 8 times a piece, so now they're like scrabbling to find like
it's
any other character that's
I mean,
tangential
DC,
to the main
DC
character.
especially is stupid how many characters we haven't gotten to see them do, given, like...
They just do Batman 4,000 times.
Yeah, it's Batman,
Yeah.
Superman, and then they jump down to shit like Black Adam and
Yeah,
Blue
no,
Beetle.
exactly. They go from
Like, guys tried
A.
Green Lantern once.
Yeah,
Like,
dude, they
can we
go
try
from
again?
A to F.
Yeah.
You know, they go from A level characters to F level characters.
I
and
read
fuck
a-
everything in between.
I read a
Yeah.
thing yesterday where Jake Gyllenhaal really wants to be the next Batman. It's like,
Why are we recasting
Why?
Batman already?
Why is there
Again,
another Batman?
They're working
Why?
on the Robert Pattinson sequel.
and no, I like Jake Gyllenhaal, but I don't see him as Batman. I don't. I'm sorry. I don't.
I could see. So if after the Joker with Joaquin Phoenix, the only Batman I wanted to see was a Batman of that like scope and level
Yeah.
of like just a super fucked up, damaged Batman,
Yeah.
and like I could maybe see him there, but I still feel like that should probably actually be Christian Bale, who already
Yeah.
we're
Christian
gonna-
Bale.
that
There's no way he's
Batman-
going to do it better than Christian Bale. So
Yeah.
why even try?
As far as just like boilerplate Batman, the only versions I'd be interested in seeing are in a bigger context, like in a team or something. But if
Yeah.
you're going to do another solo Batman movie, I'd rather you do something like Batman Beyond or
Batman
or
Beyond would be
period
really
Batman
fresh.
movie or
Yeah, yeah.
you know something like that. I don't
Just give
want
me
to
Michael
see,
Keaton every time.
Yeah,
Here
no,
comes Batman,
yeah, no, they
even
keep like
grittier. you know?
that last one was like it was different in the most slight way it could be different. Like
Are you talking about the Batman, the Robert?
yeah,
I still haven't seen that. Should I see that?
It's-
I liked
fine.
it, but
It's
if you're
good.
tired of Batman movies, don't watch it.
I'm tired of superhero, but I do like Batman, and
it's different.
I do like him more than most people do. So I feel like I might like it more than most people
so
do. But
the bummer
also, the
about-
movie's like 3 hours long. So
Yeah.
like committing to a movie that like is a crapshoot.
I
Like
mean,
that's
I really
that's
like
hard.
it. I think it's a really good movie.
to me the bummer about it, the only real bummer about it. Well, I didn't like the intro. I didn't like the whole like super long monologue about how he's
Oh, really?
Batman.
I like that.
Well, I didn't like it because like after
Is it
monologue,
an inner monologue? Is he like, I'm
yeah, I mean, it's, no,
and
it's
this is
just,
my
it's just a
story.
monologue. But like after the monologue, he jumps down and like kicks the fucking shit out of a bunch of dudes, and like, well, you just made your monologue like superfluous because like you just in action showed everything you just said.
Yeah.
You know, so that was my only beef about that particularly. But the only thing that
Yeah.
really bummed me out about the movie is I had just watched The Lighthouse, and I'm like, holy shit, Robert Pattinson's good.
Yeah.
I'm so excited now to see him play Batman because he's good. Holy shit! And then like, you don't get to see how good he is in the movie at all.
I see. Okay,
I love The Lighthouse, by the way. Good shout out
great,
to The
great
Lighthouse.
movie. I really liked with the Batman. And I know I could talk about this for a while, but I liked with the Batman that I think they did really interesting things with the character of Bruce Wayne in Batman, and in that you see Batman more than you see Bruce Wayne in the movie, which is pretty
Yeah.
uncommon for a
Yeah,
Batman.
yeah, no, that's fair. Yeah, I dug
And-
that part of this
And
Batman.
when he's just Bruce Wayne out in public or whatever, he looks so fucking nervous and uncomfortable. And I love the idea that like Bruce Wayne is his alter ego. He is Batman.
Yeah, no. So I like that idea, but
So they
I
went
don't-
the Superman route with it. They like Clark Kenned him kind
A
of.
little bit, yeah.
So no, I dig that he's more Batman than Bruce Wayne, but I don't think that just a sad boy, fidgety, nervous Bruce Wayne works I mean, it can, I guess. It can, but I don't know.
It obviously didn't, or we wouldn't be having the
Well,
conversation.
no, I mean, it worked for Reese. It didn't work for me.
If you do need some encouragement, it's from the director of War of the Planet of the Apes.
I'm gonna see it.
And so
It's just it's finding the like. It's not a slam dunk for me that I'm gonna like it, and it's like 3 hours, which I don't mind 3-hour movies, but like going into a 3-hour movie knowing that there's a 50% chance or greater that I'm just gonna hate it.
So
that's a tough sell.
I don't think
that's
will.
a commitment.
And everything I've said, I did really like it. I thought it was cool. I just it does still feel like okay, another Batman. Like it's exactly different enough to like accept another Batman reboot.
Yeah.
Because I really appreciated showing Batman in the light of like it's known. Batman's known.
Mm-hmm.
He does Batman shit. And like there's a point where he just busts up on a fucking crime scene and like shows up when there's cops everywhere like, yeah, I'm fucking Batman. I mean,
there were sequences
and Penguins dive and he's just like, I'm fucking Batman. Let me in. Yeah. So like I really, really like that part. So it is different enough, and I don't think you'll hate it. It's solid in my opinion, but
it just does a lot of things that I've never seen done well in a Batman movie.
Right.
I feel like this is the first one where we get to see Batman be a detective.
Yes.
And,
that
as a character who's known as the world's greatest detective.
Yeah, yeah.
We've never really gotten to see a movie where he's a detective.
No, I did not know he was a detective. That was never
that's
brought
been
to my
that's
attention.
been his whole bit. That's his whole like.
Apparently, you have to read the books to know that.
Well, just in the Justice League, that's why he's even there. Aside from having a bunch of money to fund stuff, which they don't even fucking need. Like the Justice League doesn't need that. Like, really.
Superman just flies into space and commandeers a space station from some other planet.
Just take it from the Russians.
Yeah,
they're the national enemy anyway. You can just take it from the Russians. It's fine. What are they gonna do? But no, it was interesting enough. For me, the Batman I wanted after the Joker was a more like psychologically intense Batman, and like there are a lot of cool different things that they haven't done with Batman in this movie, but it's not far enough away from the other stuff they've done with Batman to warrant a whole other like reboot fucking trilogy of it, you know? Like, I don't know. And like the Batman as a detective actually was captured pretty well in, I'm not a huge fan of the series, but I did like what they did with Bruce in Gotham, the TV show. Like that's very much like Bruce Wayne as a kid is like, it's all about him being a detective and using his sleuthing abilities and shit like that. So
I just never had interest in any of the DC TV shows.
It's not great. It's probably for a while.
Here's the problem with that one is that like there's a really good series in there somewhere, but
there's a lot of shit they fucked up.
They centered the story around the Gordon.
He's really tedious.
But it's before he's the commissioner. He's just like
a detective,
a police detective. So it's a young Gordon, and like the guy they got to play him is. I don't know, man. He
does the same shit as the kid in Dazed and Confused.
It has a very like special victims unit, and he always gets up in arms at the end. You know, like you son of a bitch. You know, like
that's why I have zero interest in any like cop show. Like not because like I hate cops or whatever. I mean,
they follow the same patterns,
the same police procedurals, right? And Gotham just looked like Batman, the police procedural. So like,
no, it wasn't great. There were nice
there were
things.
parts of it that were cool. Like the villains, I think were kind of done well and differently than what they've been done in like movies and stuff. And I thought that the kids being future Batman and future Catwoman, are like. First off, like I normally kids ruin your TV. Like if you're basing it around, they were awesome. I thought the kids were actually
they were
awesome.
One of the best parts of the show for sure.
And it's great because they are not actually Catwoman and they are not actually Batman. They are like the characters that are going to become those people, and they are never anything more than that. And it's kind of cool.
No, that show fell flat for sure, but it was a really.
They did get
It was an interesting effort. It was a good effort and a different way to tell.
And they even got the sexy chick from the Deadpool movies and the sci-fi movie that everyone loves.
Firefly.
Firefly. Yeah,
Mm,
like they
yeah.
got her.
And who does she play?
She plays the love interest of Gordon.
Oh, okay.
Yeah,
Yeah.
She's
Now
very
there's a
hot.
lot of TV. shit
she
in
is
those.
very sexy. She's a very sexy
No,
person.
I agree with you though. Like most of the DC and Marvel, I can't even, most of the TV stuff for comic book shit is just it gets so fucking tedious, man.
Well, I
It
had
just
the
gets so
least,
annoying.
and we're 35 minutes in. So,
Yeah.
what did you guys watch?
Well, so speaking of, I was just gonna say one more thing. There's a new Batman animated series on Amazon.
That's probably, dude. The animated stuff is
Yeah,
almost always really good.
yeah. So I watched the first episode. I was like, this is pretty interesting. They're doing some new things. And then I was just like,
And just did
Do I-
the same shit.
do I want to get invested in another Batman story?
Thing,
It's like,
yeah.
no, I don't. So
Yeah.
I stopped after the first episode. But
Oh,
I think it is produced by Bruce Timm, who did
Right.
the 90s Batman animated show,
yeah.
which is just, I think, like the best. It's
Yeah,
it's
no,
peak,
it's-
it's the best
I
Batman.
agree. Yeah.
So if you want just a good Batman, watch Batman the Animated Series. It doesn't even feel like it was made with like kids in mind.
Right.
It's like perfect.
Maybe I'll give it a go sometime.
That does, so still on the subject of Batman, can segue into one thing I didn't think about talking about, but now I want to. I watched the Batman Lego movie,
Yeah.
and it's fucking fantastic.
Yeah.
It's one of the best Batman things you could watch, probably.
It is.
Honestly.
And that also, I think, really spotlights the best thing you can do with a Batman project is to just kind of focus on an aspect of Batman, or
Right,
like take Batman in a direction that hasn't been taken before. In that movie,
right.
I mean, definitely does it because it's the
Yeah.
goofiest Batman you've ever
No,
seen.
it
but
was
it's
the
very
goofiest
fun.
Batman, but it was still like, yeah. The team that makes those movies just do some really good stuff. The animation's great, but it takes the thing, this like pseudo love story of Batman and Joker, where Joker like gets pissed off because Batman's like, I don't care about you, I don't care about anyone. And then like everything Joker does from that point is like this completely convoluted scheme to get Batman to fuck some shit up, just so Batman will finally be like, I fucking hate you, Joker. And that's like the last scene of the movie. It's like he finally gets to it like, I fucking hate you, Joker. And Joker's like, oh my god, I'm complete now. Dude, it was pretty great. Yeah, super fucking fun movie.
There's a running joke in that movie with rom-coms. That's where they just show clips of the real rom-coms. It's very fun.
Yeah. No, that's totally worth watching. Fucking, what's that dude's name? That voice
Will
is in-
Arnett.
Will Arnett.
Yeah.
Yeah.
From Arrested
Wonderful.
That's the
Development.
only thing I know about it is Will Arnett's voice Batman. I'm like,
Oh.
well, that's just the. Like,
It's
I mean,
so
he is
good.
Batman.
Yeah.
No,
In his
it's-
everyday
it's so
life, he
good.
is.
Yeah. No, it's super worth watching. So yeah, that was the one thing that I wasn't going to talk about that I just talked about. Next up for me, I have been watching a probably unhealthy amount of Trauma productions,
Yeah, oh yeah, definitely.
which I always have. So,
Hey,
you know.
Queen Kaylin.
Yeah, we got our one dedicated listener here. So I went through pretty much all of them, really. I watched Class of Nukem High, I watched Romeo and Juliet, I watched fucking Rabid Grannies, I watched fucking
Rabid Grannies.
Rabid Grannies.
Grannies. One I do want to talk about. Rabid Grannies. I watched Toxic Avenger. Watched just a bunch, man. And you know, if you've never seen Trauma movies, if you're not a B movie fanatic, you'd have no idea what these movies are, and you probably won't enjoy them. But like, if you just want, and then Poultrygeist, which I think I talked about before.
Poultrygeist.
Yeah. No, I didn't talk about it here. I talked about that on the Friday night stream. Yeah, Poultrygeist. Whew. Okay, so if you have watched any Trauma and like, man, Trauma's really degenerate, but you haven't watched Poultrygeist, you haven't
ain't seen shit.
Dude, it is the most fucking degenerate movie I have ever seen. Totally forgot it's a fucking musical too, which is fucking fantastic. Yeah, it's about the dirtballiest shit in the world you can imagine. And like, I was on the Friday night stream, I was telling Dustin, like, yeah, I finally just broke the seal on my teenage boy's like exposure to the worst shit in the world, because I let him watch fucking Poultrygeist. Like the opening scene, there's zombie hands putting fingers in butts, a dude with a fucking axe jerking off to teenagers making out in a graveyard. Like, that's in 5 minutes, man. And it goes goes from there.
That's just when the beginning titles are still rolling.
Yeah, dude, it's not even the title sequence yet. So yeah, it's fun. If you've not experienced that kind of B-movie schlock, like, it's like the definition. And to me, it's always been the definition. But yeah, of those titles, I did want to give a special shout out to Rabid Grannies and probably Tromeo and Juliet too. I think Tromeo and Juliet's like the best movie they've made because they actually had like really competent actors for that. People they probably found like that were like struggling theater actors that had like nothing else to do and like no success yet. So like, hey, come on over here. So Tromeo and Juliet is a pretty cool take on the Romeo and Juliet thing. Or it's a good adaptation. I feel like maybe it was before the big screen one with Leonardo DiCaprio. I feel like it might have been before that.
Yeah, I don't know.
But or it could have been after. I don't know. They're a fucking B-movie company, so they just jumped on that bandwagon.
Oh, yeah, it's hard to tell because you can't tell just by the quality of the movie because they're so cheap.
Yeah.
I'd have to guess it's before. Yeah.
I would think it was before the big screen one. But it had a very similar vibe, like stayed true to a lot of the core dialogue, Romeo and Juliet. Good performances. It had all the like gross trauma bullshit that you could want out of it as well. But so check it out if you like that kind of thing. Rabid Grannies was one that I'd never seen before, but was super, super fun. Two elderly ladies like in their like 70s, 80s.
Oh, Tromeo and Juliet?
Yeah.
And Romeo plus Juliet.
Yeah.
Both came out in 1996.
Really?
Yeah.
Nice. That seems fated.
Yeah.
So, I mean, like, I can't imagine that Lloyd Kaufman had, like, a no about that movie
Probably
being
not,
produced
no.
and, like,
Oh, no,
we're
that's
gonna get 'em.
exactly what it was.
Yeah.
Romeo and Juliet had been in production for a year
And then they just
when they were
banged
like,
this
you
one
know
out.
what, yeah, let's do our own, you know,
Yeah.
and ours will come out first.
Well, I will say
That's how they do it.
James Gunn was involved in Tromeo and Juliet, and that's the reason why I think it was one of Troma's best movies. But yeah, Rabid Grannies was one I had never heard of before. It popped up on Shudder, watched it. A bunch of shitty family members trying to glean a bunch of wealth off of these two elderly ladies that are about to die, and they like attend this family function, and in the family function they get randomly cursed and then turn into very like Deadite level possessed demons and just start murdering everyone. And
Yeah.
like, it's a lot of fun. Like a lot of super fun kills, really interesting kills. Just a lot of wackiness. Worth watching if you really want to get into some shit like that. And of course, Toxic Avenger, I watched that, which is exactly what it was. Every time I watch that movie, I'm like, how the fuck did anybody decide to make a kid's show off of this? Does this make any sense? Like, somebody saw it, like, that would make a great kid's cartoon. Like, I mean, did you see the, like, tits and murder and fucking bad audio, which is a hallmark of that movie?
Bad audio.
Dude, the worst audio. So, for horror movies, one thing I did watch that I was telling Reese about earlier, Dr. Giggles. You ever seen that?
I have seen that. It's been a while, but I have
dude,
seen
it's
it.
a lot better than it should be, honestly. Like, it's super, like, campy and dorky.
Yeah, I remember that part of it.
It's actually, like, it's better than it seems. All of his dialogue is basically just doctor one-liners as he murders people. But, like, there's some characters that are really trying to figure this thing out. They, like, do a good job with the backstory. Like, there's, like, a pretty real movie in there. They just dressed it up with fucking one-lining murder and doctor. If you want a fun movie, that one's also very fun. I am, a source of fun movies for sure. On the more serious note, the movie that I was going to pick this week, but I chose not to pick it because it was too similar to the movies we're going to be talking about in a minute, was found on Shudder from just the Shudder TV button. Mute Witness. It was about, Mute Witness. I think it was mid-90s, it seems.
I just saw this got a real special, like, Blu-ray release.
It was really fucking good.
Yeah.
I came in 20 minutes in, and it's about a film crew in Russia. One of the members of this film crew witnessing a snuff film being filmed, and then being pursued by the killers in the snuff film, but then escaping, and then like these like handful of Americans basically like unraveling this snuff film fucking underground in Russia. It was a very solid film, a lot of really fucking fantastic camera work, a lot of just solid across the board, I think.
And I assume
So-
you went back and watched the first.
No, still haven't yet. Still haven't yet. So I was gonna pick it, so I didn't.
Okay.
I didn't watch it yet, but no, yeah. So I didn't see the actual snuff part of the film. I saw the aftermath. I saw the running away from the snuff filmmakers. But yeah, a really fucking good movie though. I am excited to watch it. I mean, like, just thinking maybe a pick later on, or maybe if we have extra time sometime. But
Yeah.
very good movie. Another very good movie was City of Lost Children that I watched, which we were talking about earlier. Directed by Jean-Pierre. Can't remember the rest of his name. It's French, so there's.
I knew he was
to it.
French as soon as you said Jean Pierre.
Yeah.
Yeah.
No, it's very French.
Well, Ron Perlman's in it too.
Yeah, Ron
which
Perlman's
is-
in it,
and
yeah.
he speaks French.
French, yes, but
he learned French just for the
as
movie.
a slow person, so like he's like delivering just like chunks of sentences instead of full sentences.
Yeah.
So probably made it easier on Ron, you know.
You
Yeah.
think? It seems harder. I mean,
No, it's a super atmospheric, super crazy story. A lot of layers to it. A lot of just really interesting characters. Like the bad guys are like the spawn of a mad scientist that have now turned into mad scientists themselves that are doing mad scientisty shit, which is pretty much born a cult
Yeah.
to facilitate their mad scientisty shit. And then Ron Perlman's character loses a brother to the cult that these mad scientists have essentially created, and goes to get his little brother back. And
Has some themes and visuals in common with Poor Things.
yeah, no, there's a lot of really interesting camera work, a lot of really cool, like, yeah, the filmmaking is just top notch. The environment, the sets are just fucking cool.
Yeah.
All the gadgets are fucking cool. Everything's very practical. Great fucking movie. I definitely recommend watching that. Lastly, I want to talk about a movie that I've seen an amount of hype for, which was In a Violent Nature, which is a Shudder production, but it's not on Shudder yet because it went to theaters first and has not gone to Shudder yet. Movie fucking sucks. Just gonna say it. It's fucking lazy. It's nothing but a fucking shtick. The shtick is every other shitty camper horror movie you've ever watched, but dress it up in really good production with a shtick of, we're gonna show it from the killer's perspective. Well, the killer is a fucking mentally handicapped fucking 10-year-old zombie guy. So, like, there's not really much perspective.
it's
other than-
just Friday the 13th.
Yeah, it's Friday the 13th, and you just follow the guy around.
Which is
as,
literally just Friday the 13th. You follow the guy.
I was
Yeah,
gonna
but-
say,
yeah, but
aren't
no,
there
you-
a few shots in Friday the 13th where it's like Jason's POV? Like,
Probably. This one, like, it's not his, like, POV. It just, like, follows him. Like,
Yeah.
so it's just more dedicated to that of just, like,
yeah.
following him around, but it's super fucking slow and
I-
super fucking tedious, and, like, the kills are
It's
cool,
been a
but-
while, but I watched all the Friday the 13th movies a lot when I was a kid. I would guess that on average, there are more scenes or more times worth of scenes where you are seeing the world through Jason's eyes than what you actually see Jason on screen.
Yeah.
I actually think that there's more
No,
of
that's
that.
probably true. This is more like a third-person perspective and just kind of, like, follows him around
Yeah.
as he wakes up and trundles around, because to be on flavor.
Yeah,
and
so
to
it's not
be-
super original. It's just like, we're just going to do more of this.
Yeah, no, we're gonna apply like a specific fucking shtick to it, and like, because everything else is the exact same. The character is the exact same. How the story plays out is the exact same. Just everything takes forever. That's the only difference in this movie, is everything takes for fucking ever.
Because there's probably like very little dialogue, right?
Yeah, no, very little, but all the dialogue is exactly like, the dialogue comes from the dipshit teenagers,
Yeah.
which is the exact same dialogue as every other dipshit teenager in every other fucking horror movie. Dipshit cop, exact same dialogue. Like, literally everything is the exact same. They just, like, spend more time with the killer,
Yeah.
who doesn't say anything and moves very slowly. And even when he kills people, it's very fucking slow. And just every part of the movie is just tedious. It's just like, fucking come on. So, no reason to rant and
Do they
rave.
show him like going to the bathroom and stuff?
They may as fucking well, really.
After one of the
As
kills,
fucking
he
well.
sits down on a ledge and just kind of like takes the mask off. It's like,
Rubs one out.
The only like
With the blood.
the only interesting shot or scene in the movie is it's not even interesting, but like he stops and is like playing with they reference when he was a kid he played with like a toy truck is what like got him killed, like him leaving a toy truck somewhere.
Not on.
There you are. Yeah, right there.
Oh.
Yeah,
I'm on.
I checked. But and that was it. So he's playing a little toy car on a keychain, and that was the only like character development. As I watched the movie, I'm just like, so you know what did this better? A movie about a fucking tire. A movie about a tire did this better because like I give more shit about that tire and I get more character out of the tire than I did from this fucking asshole.
yeah. I
So-
think people sometimes undervalue comedic relief too, which I would guess this movie does not have a lot of comedic relief.
No, none at all. Just like an overarching like kind of like sense of being clever and like he only walks the entire fucking movie like
Yeah.
that's like trying to be funny, but in like practice, like it's
You're not gonna
funny.
laugh for an
No.
hour and a half of that.
No, it's
oh,
like,
you
no.
just gotta walk now.
Yeah, no, it's kind of like, okay, you're trying to be clever, but I still have to spend 10 minutes watching this asshole walk around and then 10 minutes on this stupid kill scene that's like, yeah, this is really gross and gory, but
You just hear
okay.
a lot of rustling leaves.
Dude, it was. I mean, some very nice shots of the woods.
Yeah.
Very pretty, like, woodland scenery, but that, I mean...
Oh, is there a shot where it's like a real, like far away, and then you like literally watch him walk across the entire screen?
No. I mean, maybe in the unedited version. You know, I bet that was there. So.
In a violent nature, uncut. It's 6 hours long.
Yeah. All right, so that's it for me. That was the stuff I watched.
But before I get into my movies, I do have an unfortunate update here about something we've inquired upon several times.
Uh-oh.
Macon Blair's remake of The Toxic Avenger, starring Peter Dinklage,
Yeah.
deemed unreleasable. Blair's film, rated R for strong violence, screened at a handful of genre film festivals. The reviews have been decent. However, the film still has no distributor. Jesus. This, by the way, this article is from July 10th, so less than a month old. I reached out to a producer, and they tell me the film... Wow, this has spelling errors. Very professional. They tell me the film is unreleasable and that its commercial prospects are too out there for theatrical release. They believe that if the film does get picked up, it would most likely go straight to streaming or video on demand.
Well, then fucking do it already.
Yeah,
It's
just
gonna
fucking
come
do it.
straight to your shutter, John.
It will.
I mean,
Just a
Thank
few
God.
months away.
Just fucking give it to me.
Quote from the producer: if it had great reviews, then maybe the forecast would be a little rosier, but there isn't much potential. It's too niche, which doesn't make sense to me. I feel like we've gotten way nicher movies in theaters,
Yeah.
but whatever. Honestly, I wouldn't be surprised if we see it on Tubi a few years from now. Again, then just fucking do it.
Dude, yeah, just fucking do it. Guess what? There's the perfect platform for this, and it's called fucking Shudder.
Yeah.
Just give it to them.
Yeah.
They literally have all of Trauma on their shit right now. Just let it go. It's so annoying.
Yeah.
God,
Filmmaker and producer Adam Mazinsk recently went on Twitter and confirmed that the film has been deemed not safe enough to market, which he claims is why...
That's fantastic.
Yeah,
I
it's
just
kind
gotta be
of
able to watch
promising in
it
a way.
more, dude. Come on.
No one has stepped up to distribute it. When all is said and done...
All right, enough foreplay.
They have done it. They have done justice to Trauma.
When all is said and done, it could maybe even turn out to be lost media, which I really hope not. That would be really
I
fucking
don't believe the
unfortunate.
movie exists. This is the Blair Witch Project
God
all over
damn it.
again.
So yeah, it could be a while still till we see it, and definitely I don't think look forward to see it in theaters. But I don't. That doesn't really make sense.
As long as I get to fucking watch it, I don't care. Just come on, man.
Yeah, some studio needs to
I
pick that up and put it on.
do really love though that it's just like everything's like it's too much. It's too much.
It's too strange.
We can't let this
Very
thing out.
niche.
It's too much.
It's too weird. It's too niche. Stop. I can only get so horny. Okay,
Yeah.
so I will
Nice news update there.
try and breeze through this. I watched an animated French film. It's brand new this year, at least in America. It came out on Blu-ray called Mars Express.
Mars
Express.
The planet.
Yep.
Okay.
The planet. And it's a really awesome, just fantastic movie. The animation's really like engaging and so emotional and but it's also like very funny and dark. If you like any kind of like Blade Runner or there, I don't know, even like Total Recall. Honestly, it's got like a humor to it, but it's got some like awesome design and stuff. You just don't get to see very enough as you should in sci-fi movies.
Okay.
I watched the new Beverly Hills Cop movie, which was kind of forgettable. It wasn't bad. You know,
really, it wasn't bad.
It wasn't bad. No, it just kind of forgettable.
So like, have you seen? Are you up to date on the series?
I've only seen the first one.
Which,
okay.
And so I just watched. I was like, who cares? So I just jumped in and watched the new Beverly Hills Cop Axel F.
Oh God, it's not good. It's not good. It's so not good.
I mean, weirdly, Joseph Gordon-Levitt, isn't it?
I didn't last long enough to see Joseph Gordon, which is one of my favorite people.
I think you need to go back, get in your time machine, and go back and maybe re-up on some of the other Axel Foley movies.
Yeah.
Specifically the second one. The second one is like, it's up there with the first one.
Yeah. I mean, I wasn't that impressed by the first one, so that's why I was like, I don't really care
like,
about.
You have to have a sense of humor,
the
Reese. So,
storyline.
like, go into it like like maybe smoke a bowl or something. Like.
No, the one I will say,
going into every movie.
I mean, what I will say is, it's if you want to see Eddie Murphy being Eddie Murphy, like it's like.
Oh, if you want to see Eddie Murphy, Eddie Murphy being who Eddie Murphy used to be.
Yeah, fair enough. Yeah, exactly. You want to get a little bit of flashback
before he became Bill Cosby.
Yeah, you get a little bit of a flashback, but like, no, it was. So the first chase scene is, like in a fucking dump truck or whatever.
Yeah.
Then like the next chase scene is he's in like a fucking, I don't know, like a little micro car thing, and it's like, fucking Jesus Christ, guys! Like that's when I tuned out. I'm like, okay, this is what this is gonna be.
There is another chase scene later where somebody's in a helicopter and someone else is in a car. So I guess it's wacky chase scenes.
yeah,
the movie.
Yeah, for sure. With Eddie Murphy being like circa
What's that,
19
Wacky Races? What's that called? That cartoon show.
Yeah, they're gonna do a fifth movie, and it's gonna have a train being chased by a moped.
Yes.
I got to see Maxine on the last day it was playing in theaters in Warsaw. I think it like really just wraps the whole trilogy together. It makes Pearl seem better, like significantly better in hindsight. But I think Maxine is my favorite of the trilogy. It's like,
is Pearl your least favorite?
Yeah, but just by default, because I really enjoyed X and Maxine I loved. You are especially going to love all three of them.
Yeah, no, I need to get around to it. It's been on my list.
I've still only seen X, which I was impressed with. And the thing I really like, and I don't know if I assume the rest of the series goes, like, they don't really do anything, like, new.
No,
other
it's
than
like
to not be, like, old, like... It's like everything in here has been done before, but they just kind of present it in a format that doesn't make me want to gouge my eyes out.
Yeah, they just do all the tropes in like the best way. It's kind of like
and there's absolutely zero of the look how clever we are.
Yeah,
and like
that's the most refreshing thing.
Yes,
I hate that.
And because every fucking movie has that these days, and it's the most like disturbing thing, and nothing will turn me off of an entire
and that's
thing.
exactly what I'm talking about. The fucking in a violent nature, like that's exactly what we're clever. We did a different thing. No, you didn't. You're just an asshole.
Yeah. Now I will say,
like you brought up about X. Sorry to interrupt here. You brought up about X. It's like how it like went in reverse order of like. Mm-hmm. People having the most sex are the people that live the longest.
Yeah.
And like, I didn't even really notice that. Like,
and they don't go like, well, wait a minute.
Yeah.
This isn't how it's supposed to go.
They didn't do the like every horror movie has the thing where it's just like, let's all take a time out and really break down what we're up against. They don't do that.
Yeah.
I love that they
Right.
don't do that because every fucking horror movie has that, and you don't need it. It's so stupid. It's
Yeah,
obvious.
well, especially it'd be one thing if it mattered, but it doesn't matter because every horror movie does that. Then they just it
all
doesn't
die.
matter.
They all
just
die
do the
anyway.
stupid shit anyway and die. So
I will say, going into Pearl, I think it gets. I feel like people get misled a little bit because they say it's a horror movie, and it feels like more of a character piece than a horror movie. So don't go into that one expecting
right.
the action and slashes of X. But
Well, I
Maxine
mean,
was just a fucking blast.
I mean, that's probably perfect for me because
Yeah.
I get turned off. Like, honestly, horror is not my favorite genre.
Yeah.
Like, I do appreciate a good horror movie, but I feel like they all kind of end up being a lot the same.
Most of them,
Very
most of them
very
do,
often.
and that's what's
It,
super frustrating.
it takes a lot to move me as a horror film.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, Maxine's on streaming now, at least to rent. I don't know if it's actually on a service. So now's the time to watch the whole trilogy. But guys can both bring it up next episode.
Yeah.
I also got to see Long Legs in theaters, which I think is still playing in theaters.
I do want to see that. Is it worth the hype?
Just lower your expectations. I think.
Oh, well, so no.
I mean, can a movie live up to the hype when it's this is the scariest movie of the century? I don't.
Was it good?
I don't want
if
that.
you hadn't heard anything about it, would you like it?
I liked it more probably. It definitely just got built up too much, and that's why I wouldn't mind a rewatch to kind of get rid of those expectations I had with that initial watch. Yeah, I mean, I'd be curious to hear what you guys would say. It's worth a watch. It's very visually well done.
Yeah, it's definitely on my list to watch it as soon as I can.
Yeah. I watched 2 short films. I don't normally bring up short films, but 2 that I think you guys will both like, and I'll send them to the chat later so you can watch them.
Yeah.
One is from the writer and director of one of the movies we'll be talking about today, The Wolf of Snow Hollow, and the lead actor in that too. It's called Is Now a Good Time, and it's as it says, it's based on a true story. It's one of the very I feel like every once in a while you hear the headline of, "Oh, Disney showed the new Marvel movie to a person with cancer because they wrote a letter and said they want to see it before they die." It's that idea.
Yeah.
Just extrapolated out to the worst possible scenario. It's very funny and very much mocking Disney. So I think you guys will like it.
Yeah, I'll check that out for sure.
And then the other one is, I can't remember if I've told you guys about this, but Robert Eggers, the director of The Witch and The Lighthouse, one of his earlier films is a short film of The Telltale Heart. It's 0 budget, no actors or anything, but it's really well
it's
done.
Literally my favorite post story.
Yeah. So I'll send both those to the chat
that
later. You
sounds
guys can watch them
fantastic.
because they're both on YouTube. Anybody who wants to watch
Okay.
those.
Nice.
Yeah.
Nice.
Yeah, send me a link. I will watch that this evening.
Let's see, Warlock. Have you ever seen Warlock, John?
No, we talked about it when I tattooed on you. I know
about the
that
old '90s
Yeah,
movies
I know
with
that I've seen
Raul
at least
Julia.
bits and
I think
pieces
is
of it.
the
No.
not Raul Julia.
Julian Sands
Julian Sands.
and
Yeah.
and
Oh,
Richard.
yeah, yeah.
Richard. E.
I get
Grant.
those two confused because they
No,
have similar. Julian
I
Sands.
get-
Yes,
I
I
get
have
the
seen
Poster
Warlock
is
and
burned
Warlock
into
2.
my mind. I know the poster.
Oh, yeah,
at the
yeah.
back of my fucking hand.
It's a big.
I remember liking.
Exactly. Yeah, for sure.
I liked that movie as a kid. I know I saw the sequel. I don't remember if I liked the sequel. I probably did.
Yeah,
I thought it
But
was
a
really
lot of
fun.
shit that I
Yeah,
liked
I
when I
would
was a
be-
kid probably would not hold up to me
the
today.
snippets
so.
Yeah.
that I remember being pretty cool.
I remember
But
that being
it's
kind of
definitely-
very likable.
Yeah,
I
it's up my
especially
alley.
watching it as they're treating Puritans, literal Puritans, founding of America Puritans, as
Right.
these superhero witch finders. I think that's kind of fun. And
Julian Sands did a lot of fucked up films, man.
he did really good in it. I was
He
really
did,
hoping
boxing,
Richard Grant.
boxing Helena or whatever. You guys ever hear that? I don't think I ever saw it, but the whole. If you guys have not seen it, we should probably all watch it together since none of us seen it. But he did this movie called I think it's called Boxing Helena, and it's something about
Oh yeah, boxing Helena.
he's his girlfriend. He's obsessed with her or whatever, and doesn't ever want to be apart from her. And he comes off as clingy because he clearly is clingy, and
Right.
like so he basically imprisons her and starts chopping body parts off of her.
Yeah.
Is-
Putting the
that's-
boxes. I presume.
I don't know, but like that's the whole
Uh,
movie.
Somewhere.
It looks like that. Yeah.
Yeah,
Shows a
no.
woman in a box.
All right. Yeah. Let's do
But
it.
yeah, I thought Warlock was really fun.
Yeah. No, I'd like to watch
It,
that one.
it had
again.
the I never watched it. I remember hearing about it years and years ago, and it's like it kind of feels like one of those like shock value things, like Human Centipede, you know. And like I have not watched it for the same reason that I haven't watched the Human Centipede.
Oh, you're talking about
I can
boxing,
guarantee
Elena.
you
Yeah.
that that's probably a better movie than the Human Centipede.
Yeah.
I mean, I would fucking. I've never seen that movie, but I would put fucking money on it because Human Centipede is a piece of fucking trash.
Yeah.
Didn't it like garner like multiple sequels?
Two.
Yeah.
Well, they said
They have to be.
they said it was supposed to be because what's it called?
Oh, what the fuck?
The second one is called Human Centipede, the second sequence, and I think the third one is called Human Centipede, the final sequence.
Yeah, whatever. They're
'Cause,
fucking. They're fucking.
Literally by
stupid.
the end of by the third one, which I haven't seen. I've only seen the first one. The third one I think is like literally 100 people sewn together.
Fuck off. That's what I have
The
to say about
logistics
that.
of
Just
that,
go
just-
fuck yourself with your stupid schlocky. That's the thing. Ah, God damn it. I like schlocky movies, man, but that's just like, fuck off. Like
Yeah.
it's just I don't know. It's just something like there's a too low a brow.
Yeah.
Yeah. At a certain point, man.
There's some dirt baggery going on.
Yeah,
here.
like that's just come on. It's just if it's nothing but shock and not even something funny or entertaining or interesting, if it's just like, oh, this is crazy, like
Yeah.
who fucking cares? It's just
Yeah.
stupid.
And it's not tongue in cheek like the trauma stuff.
Yeah,
It's
exactly. No, it's just
I'm gonna write that down.
yeah.
The movie that randomly comes to me during a podcast that we eventually end up watching, Boxing Helena, a movie I've never seen.
Yeah.
I've never heard of
This
it.
could be this year's Rhinestone.
Could
Yeah.
be. Could be.
All right.
I also watched Deadpool and Wolverine on a slightly bigger screen than Dustin did.
With no
You suck.
Portuguese subtitles.
There were oddly no Portuguese subtitles. I was kind of lost, honestly. I didn't really know what was going on.
Yeah. The thing that's fucked
I
up,
can't get the context.
the subtitles were showing up for like there. I think it was only for like English signs.
Yeah.
Like there would be a sign, and then there randomly. I'm
So I
guessing,
wonder
I'm
if it was-
100% guessing Portuguese. All I know is that like it was Spanish, like, but I don't think it was Spanish because normally with Spanish I can look at the words and see what I'm hearing.
Well, so
I've had enough,
with the
like-
quality. I'm guessing it was literally somebody got a hold of like a theater's copy, which means they probably had access.
I was worried that it was going to be somebody holding a phone in a movie theater,
Yeah.
and it was not that. It,
No.
it was literally a legit
Yeah,
copy.
no, I've-
it
and
was
the-
a foreign release,
and it is
that-
like, how the hell did you get this? But I assume they had like literally downloaded like probably a theater employee or something from them, and which means they would have the different audio
Yeah.
tracks. So it was probably dubbed in Portuguese, and that's why the like lines were not dubbed or subtitled.
yeah,
But yeah, I wouldn't know because I watched it in theaters in America.
yeah.
I watched a really funny anime miniseries called. It's from the director and creator of the movie I just mentioned, Mars Express,
Mhm.
called Crisis Jung. It's like French, but playing on like all of the super over the top anime tropes. It's
Right.
hilarious,
Yeah,
and
sounds
honestly,
fun.
like really great animation. I watched Bringing Out the Dead, which is just another
Martin Scorsese, Nicolas Cage movie.
1999, so it's celebrating
That sounds
its
very
25th
familiar.
anniversary.
It is probably the least Martin
Martin
Scorsese movie.
Yes,
Okay.
I was gonna say this is like I really didn't know anything about it. I just pushed play on it because I was looking, didn't know what to watch, and hey, this movie's celebrating its 25th anniversary. I'll give it a go, and
It's got kind of like, it's very dark.
It's super dark. It's real
more
trippy.
David Fincher than
Well, you know what I thought? I was getting feeling because the main character played by Nicolas Cage. So another reason you might want to watch it, John, is an ambulance. He's an EMT in New York, and he's like suffering like major sleep deprivation and insomnia. So he's like just tripping out. Doesn't know what day it is, you know, but he's got like a 12-hour shift, you know. And it felt the movie that I was reminded most of was Fear and Loathing in Las Vegas.
Yeah. Okay, nice.
Because especially like the real wild, trippy scenes, you know.
I get where you're going there. I just remember the movie is very dark.
Yeah.
A very dark movie. I feel like it was never going to be successful because people pay money to watch a Martin Scorsese movie, and that is not what they got. They got something completely different, and so a lot of people are probably disappointed. Also, at the time, Nicolas Cage was just like on a roll. Like everything he did, just turned to gold, and that was the first one that really didn't.
But if you want a movie,
it definitely goes against the grain, is what I would say.
I was literally going to say the same thing. This is like the quintessential Martin Scorsese does more than just crime dramas. Movie.
Nice.
Very worth your watch.
I'd be super curious to watch.
Yeah, that's one that I keep forgetting. Like I know, but I keep forgetting that he did that.
Yeah.
When I think about his filmography, I don't think about that movie ever.
Because I also get it mixed up with a couple other. Or used to, at least, Nicolas Cage movies that I also had not seen, but like I got it mixed up with.
I want to rewatch
Wild
that
at Heart and Snake Eyes, and I think it's just because they all have like pink and red in their posters.
Well, Snake Eyes is a piece of shit. Like that's just a really bad movie.
But I haven't seen either of those, so. But I liked Bring Out the Dead. Give it a watch. I watched Jaws 2, which was god awful. It might. I don't know. It could. Maybe we could talk about this sometime, but it might be the worst, like sequel.
It isn't. Like literally, it's the best Jaws sequel.
No, I mean, as far as like the second to a movie.
I love Jaws, but the sequels are trash. Like all of them are trash.
Yeah, but I mean, like if you compare this to just the seconds of movies, as far like a direct sequel to a classic, movie, you know, like. I can't even think of what's like an equivocal sequel, you know? And it's also weird because Jaws, I mean, it's such a, like, again, with what we were talking about, what was the other sequel we mentioned? About it's literally just doing the same things over again. It is the exact same plot. It's July 4th. The mayor doesn't want to shut the beaches down. The sharks are attacking. The sheriff is correct. Like,
right.
It's the same movie, but it's so bad.
So, I can't remember what country it was, but this just happened like a few weeks ago.
Oh yeah,
yeah. We're like they had like 7 shark attacks on the same day, and it's just like
now it could be based on a true story.
Why do people keep going into the water? Like
dude, we have pools.
I have never. That's the one like genre of film. Like I think I've seen bits and pieces of Jaws here or there. But I cannot give a fuck about a shark movie. I just can't do it because it's like, well,
have you never seen Jaws in its entirety?
Not in its entirety.
You have to watch Jaws.
Oh my god, dude. Jaws is fucking life-changing, dude. It's one of the greatest horror movies of all time.
And so why Jaws works.
Fuck all the sequels. All the sequels are trash.
Yeah, I was never planning on watching any of the sequels. I just happened to like I need a dumb movie and I put this one on. But
dude, you want to get obviously Jaws 3 is kind of like historically bad.
Yeah,
Jaws 3 is a cult movie. Like it's so bad that it's like they tried to do. It's supposed to be like Jaws 3D.
Yeah.
But like. The way they tried to do 3D back then.
Oh no, it's hilarious.
No,
it's hilarious.
Oh, like dude,
they literally just shove shit at the camera.
It's like the most like my ex-wife, it was her favorite movie, and like it's like somebody's favorite movie the way that like Sharknado is their favorite movie. Like it's just like I'm day drinking and I want something to laugh at.
Yeah.
You know, like that's literally the
Yeah.
the
No, I,
sequels. But no, the movie Jaws
It's like
should be
amazing.
celebrated. Like that
Yeah.
movie is actually fucking almost flawless.
I'll just have to check it out.
And it's also it's kind of the perfect example of why a lot of sequels don't work. In that the Jaws, the movie, at least maybe it wasn't intentional. You know, Steven Spielberg was a kid, but like
Right.
it feels like there's a lot of meaning and metaphor behind the story, and it's aged really well
Yeah.
because of that.
I also think that the writing, like the story, pulls a couple things from Moby Dick.
Yeah.
Even though it's a shark instead of a whale,
Yeah.
you definitely
Sure,
you get some of those elements.
Yeah, no, I mean, I've never sat down and done it, but I will.
You gotta.
You know,
It's
that's
aged
that's actually
beautifully.
You know, this podcast, it never sees it. Like you're like the horror guy, John, and like this is a movie you should have
Yeah,
seen.
well, like I said, I just don't give a fuck about a shark attack.
No, I
Shark
get
attacks
that.
are kind of stupid.
Yeah, and they also make that work as far as like that's the whole reason. Like the mayor is
No,
like
I could,
the villain
I
of
could
the
see,
story, you know?
I could see how it could work in a film and how there could be a good
Dude,
film.
you want a
around
real
that,
shit
but it's
show?
just one that
Watch
gets-
Jaws: The Revenge, which is the last Jaws movie they did. Holy fuck, dude.
I don't know if I'll
That
watch any
movie's-
more Jaws after
That
this.
movie's got so many problems. I'm pretty
Yeah.
sure, if I remember right, I don't even think that, like, I think the ending is not even the ending. I think the ending is literally just a cut from the first Jaws movie that
Oh my
they
God.
threw in and did, like, the exact same thing.
Nice.
I don't even think they filmed the ending. It was really bizarre.
Okay, I got to wrap this up.
Yeah. We're not going to have time to talk about the features.
There's an anime anthology on Amazon from 1995
Look that up on your search
called
bar.
Memories.
Okay.
One of the shorts is directed by Akira Kurosawa, the director of Akira.
Okay. Nice,
The animation
nice.
on all three is incredible.
Yeah.
Watch that. It's on Amazon. I watched Stir of Echoes. It was really forgettable.
Yeah.
I watched
Yeah, it is.
Rock and Roll High School. Have you ever seen that one with the Ramones?
Oh
I
God,
have
no.
not.
but
It's
I
really
don't.
fucking fun. You got to watch
Yeah.
it. It's gonna fit right in with all your trauma shit.
Yeah, I'll check it out. I'm not a Ramones guy. Like as the punk rock dude I am, like I fucking kind of despise the Ramones.
I
I'll
watched
watch
Miller's Crossing, an early Coen Brothers movie that I've been trying to get on, and I finally watched it. It's really good. You guys would like it. On my birthday, I was hanging out, needed a movie to watch. So since I was turning 31, I watched Rob Zombie's 31, and I don't recommend it.
Dude, that movie is fucking awful, dude. That
so
movie
bad.
is like one of the most just unforgivable train wrecks of cinema ever. Like, gee, like the fucking midget Nazi man. Like, what are you fucking 12, Rob? Like,
Yeah.
less coke, dude. Less coke. Read some books. Jesus
And
Christ.
then I went to theaters. I almost don't want to bring it up because this could take us down a rabbit hole. But the new M. Night Shyamalan movie, Trap, I went to see it in theaters,
Yeah.
and it is horrible. It is terrible.
Well,
Yeah, the
I
wife
don't
saw
know
it
why
too.
you think that would extend the podcast at all. I mean, I
Yeah,
think that you
Yeah,
just
we're all
said
in
what
agreement,
I expected.
yeah.
If I went to see it,
I
that's
watched
how
I
would
watched the
feel.
trailers and I'm like, you know what? Maybe this time it'll be something interesting.
Yeah, I had those hopes
I'm
too.
just
And
gonna
then just no.
every time we bring up M. Night Shyamalan, I'm just gonna do what I always do, which I'm the biggest M. Night Shyamalan like hater
Yeah.
on the podcast for sure. Watch the series on Apple TV,
Yeah.
Servant by M. Night Shyamalan. I think it's his best work. I really do.
Yeah.
Yeah.
All right.
So yeah, I took up enough of our time.
All right. Well, it's right back to you because these were your picks.
Yeah.
So some synopsis were to watch.
Yeah. Unfortunately, it doesn't look like either of these are streaming anywhere. Okay, it looks like The Kid Detective is streaming on Stars. Otherwise, you'll have to pay for it, which I would recommend.
Yeah, I think it's definitely worth paying for.
And then the Wolf of Snow Hollow is also not really streaming anywhere, but it's available to buy, and I would recommend buying it. So yeah, like I said last time, these were two movies that came out and really kind of just made waves in the like digital movie play. It was kind of the pandemic was a really big time for Letterboxd, as a lot of people moved towards like online communities and stuff.
Right.
And these are two movies that really thrived on Letterboxd at the time, and I got to buy them both on Vudu, kind of like right when they came out, and I really enjoyed both of them. And I kind of recommend them to people whenever I can, because they're both just really solid little indie standalone movies.
Yeah, no, they definitely are just like not what you'd expect.
Yeah.
Better than you'd expect.
Yeah.
Yeah, I know.
Real quirky and clever, and not too like, like fucking aren't we clever?
Yeah, yeah.
So first we watched The Kid Detective, directed by Evan
Terrible title.
Morgan. Still disagree. A once celebrated kid detective, now 31, continues to solve the same trivial, mysterious mysteries between hangovers and bouts of self-pity, until a naive client brings him his first adult case to find out who brutally murdered her boyfriend. And the tagline is, "No longer a kid, not much of a detective."
He's a pretty good detective, really. Yeah.
And then The Wolf of Snow
Yeah, after
Hollow.
he just picks himself up.
I figure we'll kind of just talk about them both.
Yeah, that's fine.
The Wolf of Snow Hollow, directed, written, and starring Jim Cummings. A stressed-out police officer struggles not to give in to the paranoia that grips his small mountain town as bodies turn up after each full moon. And the tagline is, "Welcome to Snow Hollow." It's fine.
Probably want a little bit like more allusion to what the fuck's going on. But,
Yeah.
I mean, it's acceptable though. Just keep it
Fucking
simple.
hate these taglines. They're so bad. The only thing worse than a tagline is a trailer.
Most of the time.
Trailers should be, the longest trailer should be 60 seconds.
Yeah.
An average trailer should be 35 seconds.
And like 30 of that should be like one of the most, like just a black screen with words that say like one of the most polarizing films of 2024 says so and so from the New York Times. Like it should be a bunch of that.
From
Like
a film critic you've never
like-
heard of.
like yeah,
Some
like,
fucking guy.
like I want to see as little of the movie as possible. That is the one thing I will say about the Deadpool and Wolverine thing, because that trailer got fucking hammered. You went to see a movie, you saw the trailer.
Yeah. At least
but-
in our small theater.
I do like when they do the trailer and the trailer has lines that are not actually verbatim what is in the movie, because there was a lot of that going on in the Wolverine Deadpool movie. Most of the lines that you heard that had any substance to them are not actually in the movie. Like they were literally just to make the trailer look sexy.
Yeah.
And that was actually a good thing.
No, I think that's actually kind of cool. Like, 'cause you still want to draw people in,
Yeah.
not give too much away.
I can go into some fucking movie advertising shit that's just so annoying to me. Anyway. So The Kid Detective, like the plot says, is so I guess these guys have never heard of the book series Encyclopedia Brown.
No.
I thought it was I haven't read Encyclopedia Brown, but I'm very familiar with it. It's like a, I think 80s, 90s book series for like, teen and younger boys about exactly, what this title is. Like The Kid Detective, it's like, well, I need to solve the mystery of the missing fundraiser money and stuff like that. And this movie it's so funny how this movie takes things and takes all of those like very classic stereotypes and does them in like the goofiest way while still being such a dark and serious movie.
No, because you get at the beginning, the recap of his, illustrious career as a kid detective, and it's very like fun and light and bouncy.
Yeah.
And then you get slapped with like what happened after.
Yeah. Like the darkest ending.
Yeah. This guy's kind of a fucking ass. And he's kind of a piece of shit now.
But I just lost my train. Oh, that's the other thing I was gonna say is the movie is like so. Honestly, both of these movies are very precise with their storytelling and what they tell you with the camera and the dialogue. But The Kid Detective especially, I thought, like, doesn't waste like a single piece of information. Like every fucking thing you learn or hear, and it sounds just like very offhanded, comes back later.
Mm-hmm.
And explains something or somebody uses as information. It's got those really clever mystery aspects that I think a lot of these newer mystery movies we've been getting don't always like take full advantage of just like really weaving the information in there and making you actually have to do some thinking and solving on your own. What do you guys think of it?
The Kid Detective, outside of the name being terrible, my notes were I thought it was awkwardly funny.
Yeah.
It's, I would say probably maybe not for everyone. Like there are people that are going to watch this movie and dislike it.
Yeah.
Half of them
I
probably
can see
because they're just like they just don't get it. Maybe like because I think it is kind of clever, and then the other half probably thought that they were gonna watch a kids movie and then stumbled onto this by accident.
Which you get a little bit, and that's what's funny about the movie's beginning. It's like, oh, I get to tell the story when his heyday of his kid detective practice, and that just all comes crumbling down. It gets way darker than you think it would too.
Yeah, it's like the classic. It's like he peaked in high school. No, this guy peaked in elementary school.
Yeah, he peaked at 12. Peaked at 12. Peaked hard.
Yeah.
That's the
then
movie.
He's just been boozing it up.
I found it hilarious.
Yeah,
like,
one thing
I actually really, really enjoyed the movie. I've watched it a second time with Molly. Nice. Molly really enjoyed it as well. I love the dry humor. And that's where it's awkwardly funny. Like,
yeah.
The timing in these movies, in both of them, I think, especially in this one, but in both, the timing of the lines is just fucking...
That's what I love about dark humor. It's like, if you can be funny without ever trying to be funny, that's dark humor.
Yeah,
and
delivering something
that.
serious and just fucking nailing it. Yeah.
Don't want to steal all your thunder, but by far my favorite part of the movie was detective working with the younger girl who he's just did the case of the missing fundraiser money or whatever. It's like all of his shit was like piddly, and now he's on this murder investigation. And like the girl that he's working for, he's a private detective. So the girl he's working for is like younger, and he like blows her off one day because he's got some shit. She's like, this is like the next day they're like making up. He's like, sorry about yesterday. I got arrested. She's like, I know. Your assistant told me. There's just like silence and what a cunt.
Yeah.
I like lost my I lost my shit. I couldn't like refocus on the movie after that. I really needed to say pause.
Yeah. Now, there's some killer lines delivered in just impeccable timing throughout this film. And they're all super dry just like that. They're all just fucking fantastic. The scene where he goes and tries to get information from like the kids at the stoop, which is like sitting like some fucking concrete roadblocks, just degenerate little like fucking
teenagers,
typical emo kids that do drugs. Tries to get some info where drugs are dealt, and they completely lead him on some bullshit. Then he goes back and he just like shamelessly kicks the fuck out of one of the kids, and then he's like, "Does this make you feel like a man?" Yes, it does.
Yeah, and the beauty of that is like they're like, where do you get the drugs? The drugstore. And like he fucking believes that. Like, dude,
you were out of touch.
Yeah, I think it also like kind of works really well as a parody of a lot of like the noir detective tropes and stuff. Like the very always right and self-serious detective. I just the line that really got me this time was when she's like, "My parents are dead." He's like, "Oh, that's terrible. But in some ways you're lucky. I hate my parents." And there's just like pause. I'm sorry. That was really insensitive.
That was a stupid thing to say.
Yeah, the guy is just like the queen. It sets him up too, because like in the, it shows his early success and like the bit where he's like musing to himself at night and like, fucking, I'm just like the best fucking thing ever. What?
That's the line that stuck with me from the like. Every once in a while you're watching a movie and there's a line that just hits you, and you think about it after the fact, and like it really had no substance to the movie. It really didn't add that much, but for whatever reason, it just rings in my head after. I don't know why. Like just going back, another movie. Remember Catch Me If You Can?
Yeah.
I don't know why, but what's his fucking name?
Leo DiCaprio?
No, his dad.
Tom Hanks? Oh, Christopher Walken?
Yeah, Christopher Walken. Like when he's like, they're never gonna catch you, Frank. Like the whole like he's like talking to him, and he's like proud of this boy who's like a career criminal who's just running from the law for his, and like I don't know why that line just stuck with me, and just like, god damn, like really, his character is the one that's disturbing, you know. As the father, it's like, that's my boy cheating the government out of all this money, you know. But anyway, I really thought that line in this movie when he was like, I used to lay awake at night and just think, am I the smartest man in the world?
No, it's
where I can solve these crimes when no one else can.
Such a good setup, because shortly thereafter you see him just like living the most fucking pathetic life ever, just getting the shit out of him in a bar and just like fucking. One of my favorite running things in the movie is that he has no concept what day it is ever. It's like 5 times in the movie. Like he's breaking into somebody's house, like, what are you doing here? This is Sunday. No, dude, it's fucking Tuesday. Oh. Yeah, maybe I shouldn't have broken into your house on a Tuesday.
The principal, he's like, shouldn't you be at school?
Yeah.
It's a Sunday.
Just constant, just completely out of fucking grips to anything. And then like the funniest thing too is like he's like, I'm a fucking super serious detective, as this 16-year-old girl drives him around everywhere to investigate.
Yeah.
Yeah, the ending definitely not exactly what you expect. Definitely fucking way darker than you expect.
There's when he approaches the old lady about that came to him about finding her cat for like the 3rd time.
Yeah.
And then like he actually needs her for like the murder. He's like, did you find my cat? No, actually I completely forgot about it.
Yeah, it's just that's I think probably what really stuck with me is how fucking funny this movie is.
Yeah, no, it's super fun. It's a great time.
It's like awkwardly funny though. Like they don't like, so true comedies have that like way of just like lavishing you with the humor and like playing along with it.
Right.
Whereas this one throws funny things at you and then like kind of gives you a side eye for laughing at it. You know,
It sometimes throws the jokes pretty fast too.
No, it's just like they want you to feel guilty for laughing at this movie.
Yeah.
Like they don't want you to. They want to move on to the next thing. And so I think a lot of people are gonna watch this movie and think it's a little too awkward in that way, and they aren't gonna like it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But it's funny in the way that like Curb Your Enthusiasm is funny. It's a little
I think
it's a little uncomfortable.
The second movie we're gonna talk about probably pulls a bit more from like Quentin Tarantino. I think that filmmaker Jim Cummings is a big fan, obviously, of Quentin Tarantino. But I think both of these movies really.
I got more Coen brothers from this film.
Definitely. Both of these movies I feel like take a lot of writing inspiration from like Wes Anderson, and just like not delivering jokes as jokes, they're just delivering jokes as dialogue.
Right.
And I think that's just so enjoyable. And
it's a great place to be.
It's just a watchable movie, you know.
Yeah.
Goes down real smooth.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah, my note on it, I said it's the Fargo of werewolf movies.
Oh yeah, the second one. Yeah, and we'll go ahead and we're talking about them both. But yeah,
I thought we were. Sorry.
No, you're good. But
you said Snow Hollow, so I thought we were moving on.
Definitely, Snow Hollow. Is like it's the most. Quentin Tarantino and Coen brothers both, I think, are people who get imitated a lot, and a lot it does not work.
Yeah.
But Wolf of Snow Hollow.
I think when it does work, is it's more inspired.
Yeah.
As opposed to imitated.
But Wolf of Snow Hollow, I think, is one of the like best Coen brothers inspired movies I've ever seen.
I definitely feel that from the weaving of the story and
the camera work and the characters.
Yeah.
Just
also the way that they almost have a lag to the dialogue in their films, and this movie kind of had that. You think about Fargo and you think of like, oh gee, like the
oh geez,
like it takes like twice as long to say something as what it should.
Right.
No Country for Old Men is a huge one on that. Like like a very dialogue forward movie in what is really just kind of an epic drama, which you don't think of epic dramas as being like dialogue heavy,
Yeah.
like these are.
No, yeah, there's always like a moment given to like prepare the viewer for the dialogue that's coming. Kind of like let's take a minute here so this really drives home.
Yeah.
Like,
I think
create a space of silence.
yeah, Snow Hollow and Coen Brothers both they've got Coen Brothers are just like the masters of like the very simple like Midwestern dialogue.
Yeah.
Where it feels like just they're fucking conversations with farmers, and it's like the goofiest, silliest thing, but also it's like I've probably had this conversation with somebody
Yeah.
like
Yeah, no, it's
at a
like a
random
very
fucking truck stop.
awesome way to weave in just relatable.
Yeah,
You know, just break
very
break the
relatable.
barrier.
It just makes you kind of like look at how fucking cartoonish life is.
Yeah,
it's like
yeah.
these are real people. I thought the comedy and jokes in Snow Hollow were also just very dense with how much dialogue there is. Like you just you have to pay attention to the dialogue or you're gonna miss like a dozen
Yeah.
jokes.
I think a big part of that is Robert Forster in the movie, and
Yeah.
I think that like any Tarantino or Coen Brothers vibe you get can probably directly be related to him, because he like that is his dialogue. His dialogue is already in that style,
Yeah.
Right.
which is why he was a perfect fit for Jackie Brown. You know,
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think he just kind of leads to that kind of style, being old school the way he is or was. Sorry, the late.
Yeah.
This was his last film.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think so.
It's kind of wild. I don't know how many actors get to die in
Well,
their
and
last screen role.
I really enjoyed it too because his character in the movie is dying.
Yeah.
Like, it's pretty fucking hilarious. That's another like layer of dark, subtle humor there. Like this dude's making his last movie as a character that is dying in the fucking movie. That's like
Yeah.
trying to kind of hold on, to his legacy. But no, I really enjoyed it a lot. I probably enjoyed it more on the rewatch than I remember enjoying it the first time around.
Yeah.
I know Dustin said the main dude was a bit much for you, but I really dug.
Yeah, he was a bit much for me.
I dug the
I
end.
probably need to rewatch it as well. I thought it was okay.
For me, so the main character through the movie is very just he's constant stress. He's an alcoholic that's trying to hold together the sheriff's department with a bunch of fucking nincompoops, other than like the chick that's his like second, while his dying father tries to maintain his role as sheriff when he's clearly not fucking sheriff anymore because he's dying. So like I really enjoyed, because I exist through so much of my own life in just constant stress
Yeah.
that I guess really for me I relate a lot to the character
Yeah.
and just like holding your shit together while it's just constant stressors and constant fucking just everything trying to just tear at you. So, and like how well he tries to handle it and then he just doesn't, I just thought was fantastic and just super hilarious.
I know, and if you guys watch more of this actor's stuff, Jim Cummings, who wrote and directed and starred in, and he's done a couple other features, a couple I've seen, and he definitely likes his like showy dialogue and performances, and it can come off as a bit much, but like if you enjoy it, it's like it's enjoyable to watch. It's like a type of.
I think
acting.
I think it's very much a palate thing. Like for me, it's right along my palate the same way that fucking Toxic Avenger is my palate.
Yeah.
Where Toxic Avenger for a lot of people would be like, why would you like this? This is fucking awful. But like, So, but no, I felt like the level of agitation with that character and like the compounding stress in this. Like, I think the compounding stress helped the compounding elements of the story. Like, it all kind of, like, led together and worked together for the climax that we had.
Yeah. Yeah, you just can't get enough of this quick, snappy dialogue. It's just so
that's why I
fun
love
to watch.
Tarantino and Wes Anderson. Fucking dialogue is...
It's pretty key.
It's what makes the movie, dude. It's fucking fantastic. You can't have really... you can, but... most time the really best storytelling comes from in-depth characters, and characters get a lot more depth when they can deliver really awesome dialogue.
Yeah, I do think they also really pull off the like scary aspects of the story. I think some of them come off a little goofy.
Yeah, I think the only one that I think I didn't like at all, that I thought was a little unnecessary, was when they do the second victim. I think she was like an instructor or something.
Yeah, the snowboard instructor, whatever.
Yeah, the snowboarding instructor. Like when they show the wolf.
Yeah.
Full upright. That's, I think, the only thing in the movie that I really don't like, is because they didn't need to do that.
Yeah.
Like it's, kind of the destruction of the illusion that Shyamalan did in The Village, when it's like, oh, we're gonna.
It's funny you brought that up because I totally thought of The Village after I watched this.
Yeah.
It's funny that you would go there because my mind went there too.
I mean, it's a very much different thing, of course.
And,
it's just
and spoilers to come in my little thing, conversation after watching the two movies. So how are the movies? I talk shit about the title of The Kid Detective, and I still think the title sucks, but that movie's actually solid, and I really like it. We're going to watch it sometime this weekend, and we did.
Right.
She's like, what about the werewolf movie? I'm like, yeah, it was fine. It was fine. I thought it was okay. And she's like, so it was about a werewolf? I'm like, yeah, kind of. She's like, well, did they kill it at the end? I'm like, well, full disclosure, it was just a dude in a wolf costume.
Yeah. which is the fucking...
But he was very tall.
Yeah.
And
no, I mean, he was very tall, and like it worked, and that's the funniest thing about this. One of the funnier things in the movie is running joke that literally everyone thinks it's a fucking werewolf, and the entire time the main character is like, are you guys fucking retarded? No, it's not a werewolf, it's a dude. And it's just...
Yeah, so I think they definitely could have benefited from keeping the wolf during the attacks very... like obscured.
So I didn't
not when
they
show him
the
at the
whole
end.
movie from his point of view.
It would have been faster. So I didn't mind it later in the film, like when there's the attack on his daughter, when she like, sneaks out.
Yeah.
Like I thought that was well enough done, Like it was just that one really just pissed me off because like it created scope and scale. Like it's just like a full expose, and like you just don't do that in a fucking any kind of a monster movie ever.
I just also think that
technically isn't, but
when they do the reveal of the werewolf, I think it shouldn't have looked so much like an actual this fucking guy apparently makes costumes and props for Hollywood, and he made this werewolf costume that he's also very strong in. So like that breaks down a bit. I think they should have. Had it be a bit more of a symbol.
He was a taxidermist, though, right? So, I mean,
the manufacturing of the get up is like that tracks really well. Now he's really tall.
It's not so much
the way that they had him like hunched over, like fucking like Remsfield or something. Like
see, like
he's like he comes back to the door and like, oh, I'm sorry, just one more question for you. Could you stand at your full height? And it's just like.
I like the idea of it, and I think like the reveal of the character standing up is really creepy, and like they do really good, but there's something about it, the actor maybe, and where it comes off a little cheesy.
No, I think I think a lot of it is the actor because he's the concept I do think is sound. But like they were probably working with
needed to look more like somebody like unfold or like expanding instead he looked like he's like probably, literally bent in half.
Yeah, and he probably should be.
That's the thing that bothered me is the fact that like we got guy who's just bent in half all the time when he's interacting with people to make himself look shorter. Like that that's the part that didn't vibe well with me.
Yeah. Well, I think at that it's not implying that so much because like they show him like kind of at the diner.
Yeah.
And they just don't show him from like the shoulders up. So I think it's probably more he's like hunched in normal life and he's overplaying it because he knows he's now a suspect with the sheriff.
No, I feel like they could have cast that guy better, but I also can acknowledge like, for the build that they needed.
Yeah.
I mean, you probably are working with like.
Yeah.
An X number of people in that pool, so
it's just the idea of like a fully functioning outfit that he's also a threat in. Like
Yeah. No, he should have been a little bit bigger. I think that it does fall apart with that character a little bit on the reveal, which I enjoyed the movie enough and I enjoy the concept enough that I could forgive that personally in watching it. But yeah, I totally agree though. That's where it definitely falls apart a little bit. But I think overall it's definitely a solid movie. It's a win. It is the kind of writing and comedy and performances that are a bit of an acquired taste. So I would definitely forewarn somebody you may not be crazy about this movie, but I think if you enjoy film, you should be able to enjoy a lot of the movie.
Yeah.
So
I mean, if just watch it for the character and the dialogues, I think it's a very entertaining movie.
For sure.
And I would say, I think Kid Detective.
I mean, in both of these movies too, the camera work is fucking.
Yeah,
solid.
see, like technically, these movies are both really well done.
I do want to point that out and kind of hark on that. Like they are just like very solid films.
Yeah, I think Snow Hollow has fantastic camera work and like the lighting and everything on these movies.
Mm-hmm.
It's not like something you really think about a lot, but these are like really comparatively low budget movies to a lot of stuff.
Yeah, for sure. No, they're very nice for what they are. So yeah, I totally recommend both. They are, with Dustin with the first movie, how awkward the comedy is, and this one with how awkward the characters are. Like I think they're both a bit probably an acquired taste or a palate specific experience. But if any of this sounds like it might be up your alley, you should watch them.
I would probably recommend Snow Hollow. I can like come on here and talk shit about a horror movie and then recommend it to somebody because I have an issue with the genre. Like I just don't accept everything that's like I feel like there's only a handful of things that really hit the mark for me.
Right.
This one fell like just a little short.
Well, and at the end of the day,
I think it was a solid horror movie. I think it's better than a lot of the horror movies you could be watching. So
I mean, to me, it still feels more of like a I don't know,
a thriller.
Yeah, just like a mystery thriller.
Especially now that we just spoiled the ending.
Yeah.
Yeah, you should probably not watch it if you haven't. Like if you haven't watched it, just skip it.
No.
We just gave away we gave away the ending. It's not going to be fun.
It's a hell of an experience.
I don't think I would listen to a podcast about a specific movie without expecting spoilers on that movie.
Well, and also, I don't know. People are always like, I'm the guy personally that like, I don't want to spoil the movie. It's about the experience of the film. I don't care if I know what's happened or not. Whatever. Like I'm watching this for the experience.
He just unlocked the key. He used the key to unlock the answer to ratings bliss. Like, don't do off the wall movies if you want good like ratings and followers. So if we do like Forrest Gump and like fucking Christmas Vacation and stuff that everybody's seen a million times, then they'll pour in. If we do Billy Madison, man, this thing's gonna blow up.
At this point, it's so funny because like just a sequel to anything, regardless of the popularity or the whatever, it's like it just seems like people are at a point where like,
I think they did a sequel to Stir of Echoes.
I've heard of the first movie. I better go watch it.
Yeah, for sure.
Or like, well, how could they do a sequel to that? This is gonna be terrible.
I'll go watch it. Yeah, no, I mean that's the thing. Like that's the formula for big box office filmmaking. Like they don't really have to try that hard. Like, the comic movies.
I had that feeling the other day when I saw Jack Reacher the series. Didn't they do a bunch of those movies? I've never seen any of that. Why is there so much stuff, but yet I've never seen any of it?
Yeah.
How do I not know what it is at all?
Yeah.
It's like you would think that if they made like 3 or 4 movies and now there's a series that like I would not have to watch it and still know somewhat what it was. And it's like I just don't know what this is.
Demographics, man.
Jack Reacher and Jack Ryan. There's like 6 different versions of each, and none of them are connected, and I can't tell any of them apart.
Well, the Jack Ryan, I think, is. I mean, that's just a character that.
Yeah. So, have you seen the Harrison Ford Jack Ryan movies?
Yes.
Are they connected?
No, the character. It's the character, right? So they do it the way that he did the books, and the books was just all about the character. And like, I know that like I recently started watching the series, the Jack Ryan series. My wife watched it without me and recommended it. Which I'm not really a huge Tom Clancy guy. I like political.
That's the John
Espionage.
Krasinski one.
Huh?
The series is the John Krasinski.
Yes.
Yeah.
And it's solid. It's really good, but it's
Yeah.
just like the first season is very much like so every Jack Ryan thing to me is standalone.
Yeah.
But it's the same character. It's very much like James Bond, but
Yeah.
more of the political espionage instead of just flat out espionage.
Yeah. So I've seen.
So basically, season 1 of Jack Ryan, completely different than season 2 of Jack Ryan. I mean, you're getting but it's the same character.
It's the same actor, even.
Same
right?
actor, same actors, same character, but very there's a love interest in the first season, has not reappeared. I'm like,
It's like James Bond's.
not really though. It's not. They're not just replacing her with a different
Yeah.
love interest. It's just like there was a love interest in season 1, and then in season 2 we went to Venezuela. So I don't know where the fuck she is.
Yeah.
You know,
Not in Venezuela.
not in Venezuela. You know, and
'Cause, I've seen Hunt for Red October, right? And that's Alec Baldwin
yeah.
as Jack Ryan. So I know that's not connected to the Harrison Ford ones, even though it came out like a year apart or something. But then
Yeah, and there's a whole timeline thing.
then I was like, well, I was gonna watch one of them the other day, and then I was like, I was gonna watch the second one. I don't remember why. But
Patriot Games.
should I watch the
think?
first one first? Like,
I mean, if it's the same actor, they're connected. But if it's not the same actor, it's just the same character. But
No,
yeah,
it's-
see,
it's
but the Harrison Ford ones. There's two Harrison Ford.
Yeah,
ones.
Clear and Present Danger and Patriot Games, and then there's also one that's called The Sum of All Fears, which is like a Ben Affleck, I think.
Yeah, and then there's one with.
I'm not a huge fan of these movies. I will say the
Chris-
Jack Ryan series though is actually pretty good. Like it's
Pine.
yeah,
and this is not really my genre also,
No.
but I don't really like political. I don't really like espionage shit at all. Like I kind of get really bored really quickly.
Yeah.
The Jack Ryan stuff is really cool, and they do a really good job of taking like the Tom Clancy ideas and incorporating them into a modern world. And I feel like, I don't know, it's kind of like hip politically.
Yeah.
Like
Okay, sorry.
it doesn't feel stale. They're making it relevant.
Krasinski is Reacher.
No,
Krasinski's Ryan.
Zach Ryan. Yeah, I don't know what Reacher is. I really don't know what the fuck that is.
It's like the same thing, right?
It's no,
it's another of the same genre.
I mean,
Yeah,
it's not Tom Clancy. It's
Okay, but
some other
so
thing.
those movies
they're probably making
was
it up as they go along.
Tom Cruise, right?
well, it's another. It's probably another. That's the thing. These characters, James Bond too, just fucking dime store novel books.
Yeah.
At the end of the day,
Yeah.
like they're just like there's a million of these guys, a million of these characters, a million of these writers. There's as many there are of those as fucking romance.
James Bond is just fun because actually
I
talented
would
directors,
actually
like,
recommend the
make his
Jack
movies.
Ryan series to somebody though, because they do a good job at it is that to where every season it's a new issue, and so they're starting over, and usually a new country,
Right. Yeah.
a new issue or new terrorist organization that they have to attack
Yeah.
or tackle
No,
or
and
whatever.
that stuff too is
But
very much
the
an
character
acquired taste as
development
well.
for him, I feel like goes a little stronger. I get the idea of what he is, because it's he's somewhere between a desk jockey in the movies, a desk
Yeah.
jockey and Rambo.
Right.
And I figure the truth probably lies somewhere in between.
Yeah.
He's a doctor. That's in the first season, one of the most quotable things. He gets to I can't remember what country they are. It's Middle East somewhere.
Yeah.
And he touches down and the ops, the main guy for the physical ops team or whatever is meeting him for the first time, and he's like, yeah, so and so, this is Dr. Ryan. He's like, oh, what are you a doctor of? He says, economics. Cool. And
Right.
that's the interaction. It's
Yeah.
that's the dude. He's not like Rambo. He's just he's really good at finding, looking at, following the money
Yeah.
on reports and finding crime.
He just
that
also
way.
probably incidentally is kind of a badass, I assume.
Yeah, I mean, He's in the
He's in an
CIA.
action
He's in the
show,
CIA,
so-
so he went through the same training that every other CIA agent went through. Yes.
Is he more like MacGruber or MacGyver? That's an
no,
version.
no, his. Well, that's the thing. His like there. It's not if you're really into action sequences and you like John Wick. Not for you. This is not that.
Yeah, it's probably much more practical action. I'm
It's
sure.
it's practical action and much more like intelligence. You know, like his genius is in his genius, not in his warmongering.
Yeah.
I don't remember how we got on this.
I don't know.
Yeah.
How we get on everything.
But yeah,
Somebody says something and leads to a thing.
Recommend both movies.
I do
think
too.
they're
I think
worth
they're
your
both
time.
great. They are probably again, it's a palette thing. So you may or may not, dig them. Be forewarned. It may not be exactly your thing, but no, they're both very solid films. So watch them.
Right on. So I think that puts a bow on the feature.
I think so.
Yeah, nice little tidy bow. I think they were good picks, honestly.
I think the consensus is Jack Ryan. Watch.
Well, here's the thing, because I was like you. I've unfortunately seen like all the Jack Ryan movies. I haven't seen Some of All Fears, but I saw Clear and Present Danger in a drive-in. Ugh. Second leg of a double feature. That was rough. Patriot Games, uninteresting. Like, I just feel like these movies have never been like Hunt for Red October, kind of blah. But like, so I didn't want to watch the series, and my wife was just like, "I'm telling you, I think you'll like it." And I know that you don't like that type of shit, but I think you'll like it. And I started watching it. I'm like, you know what? You're right. I kind of like it. Like, it's way better than any other Jack Ryan thing they've ever done.
Yeah. Oh, okay. I just think these are both very unique and worth your time movies. Okay, do we want to know what's playing in theaters this
Yes,
week?
we do.
Okay.
Goddamn right we do.
It's honestly a big week for theatrical releases, if you can believe it.
Is it Alien Romulus? Is it finally here?
No, that's
Soon.
next week
Boo! Okay.
or 2 weeks. Nope, next week, I think.
All right. Well,
okay.
It's you got to mention that then.
Yes. Okay. Wow. One Christian movie playing in theaters. That's crazy. We'll
Yeah, we're
skip
just
it.
gonna skip those.
We have still in theaters Trap, Deadpool and Wolverine, Twisters, Despicable Me 4, and Inside Out 2.
Have you seen Twisters yet, Reese?
No, I
You're the man that
actually
watched everything. You haven't seen Twisters.
I'm planning on watching it with my parents. My mom fucking loves like natural disaster movies. So that's the only way I want to see it. I definitely don't want to pay for it. I've heard it's not great.
Oh really?
Yeah.
Yeah, I heard somebody told me that it's basically just. You could assume that this might be it, but also I think that there could be still a good story there. So it's kind of unfortunate they did it, but just that it's basically the same movie.
Yeah, it's not a sequel, which I somehow did not realize until it came out.
Oh, okay.
It's just kind of like a remake.
Oh.
So that it's
But
much
not
less.
not a
Well, I mean,
like,
it wouldn't be a sequel because none of the actors are back, and
yeah, but
No, I
it
mean,
could.
it could still-
I would.
it could still
I would
be-
not have been surprised if like the main character opens her wallet, in the first 5 minutes and sees a picture of Holly or not Holly.
Well, yeah, it's easy
Helen
enough
Hunt.
to.
It's like, that's my
Helen Hunt,
mom.
Yeah,
That's
it's easy
what I was
enough to
expecting.
connect like the team of guys that did
Yeah.
this and yada yada yada. That's what I expected.
it's a sequel because it's
takes
all
place
different
now,
characters,
yeah.
but it is a sequel because that one happened back in the '90s, and this is now 30 years
Yeah.
later.
But yeah,
so
I think that from what I was told, it's just pretty much just like the same story, but just double stuff up.
Yeah.
it's the same world, which is the world we
Yeah.
live in.
Yeah.
Yeah, yeah. It's in the Earth Cinematic Universe,
Yeah, exactly.
the ECU.
Yeah, I heard it was disappointing as well. I'll wait for it to be on a streaming service, and I'll definitely watch it. I'll be looking forward to watching.
I'm gonna wait for the Portuguese version.
Yeah, probably not super high priority though.
Coming new this week, 4 movies. I will say in order of my least interest to most interest. We have Harold and the Purple Crayon, starring Zachary Levi. This
There's been a
movie
movie of that.
looks like garbage. Looks
So,
very
I mean,
cheap.
it's a fucking kid's book.
It's a live action movie though. For some reason, I think it probably should have been animated. Harold is played by Zachary Levi.
Yeah, no, it should have been animated. I don't know why they would go ahead and make it live action.
Yeah.
I mean, they want to make live action everything nowadays, so
So
they can use all the CGI.
Yeah, the kids love the CGI. A new romantic drama starring Blake Lively called "It Ends with Us."
She's bad. Can I just like say like, fuck?
It's so funny
Fuck
to
her,
me
dude.
how like actors can so blatantly show that they don't need to be acting because like what she's in a movie like every 4 years.
Yeah.
Like you can't pay your bills on that. You're just doing this because like it's.
I just
fun.
recently found out who she was. Like I knew the name because like it's like Ryan Reynolds' wife or whatever, and like, oh, that's her. Oh yeah, she sucks.
What has she been in? I do not know.
like literally nothing and everything at the same time.
I think she was in the Sisterhood of the Traveling Pants
Yeah, I
movies.
didn't watch that.
I think she was in a TV show, but I don't remember which TV
It was
show.
like Gossip Girl,
Something like
yeah,
actually it might have been.
yeah,
Gossip.
nothing
I
I
think
would
it's
eat.
Gossip Girl. Like
Oh,
she's been in trash, dude.
Yeah.
But like she's like got a like I don't know, man. It's just the acting is poor.
Yeah.
Like it just it's not Sofia Coppola bad, but it's not good.
Well, it's just there, it's like baseline, like
Yeah.
Yeah,
Bare-
kind of like
bare minimum.
yeah, I feel like
she can read lines and memorize.
her
lines.
voice is just dead.
Has like 5 different facial expressions.
She was in The
Oh,
Shallows.
she got one facial expression.
Shallows.
A shark movie. She was in Green Lantern. She was in
Yeah.
The Town. I don't remember her in The Town.
I,
And a few years ago with
I don't
Anna
remember
Kendrick,
her in the town.
she was
Okay.
in a movie called A Simple Favor.
yeah, nothing rings a bell.
But yeah, some TV show,
Yeah,
like
yeah.
Gossip Girl or something.
Right.
Okay, now moving
Yeah,
on
she
to
sucks.
more
Just
interesting
throwing it out
movies. The Borderlands movie comes out this Friday, which I don't have high hopes for. It
I've
is
heard, yeah.
directed by what's his name, the guy who did Thanksgiving, Eli Roth, and he's kind of a terrible director. So I don't know. It's got Kate Blanchett in it. So I'm like fingers crossed.
I mean, I feel like it's gonna be good.
I wouldn't go that far.
I mean,
It'd be entertaining, probably.
if-
It also has Kevin Hart in it.
See, I'm
what's a
hoping-
bad Kate Blanchett movie?
I'm just hoping it's entertaining. I'll accept entertaining.
Yeah, no.
I don't need to be good, but
I can't
entertaining.
imagine. It should probably.
I feel
be
like the
entertaining.
studio read the script and they're like, this isn't good. Like, we got Eli Roth directing. Let's get Kate
Yeah, I
Blanchett
got
because
Jack
it
Black
legitimizes
voicing.
our movie immediately.
No, it's the
Takes
cast
it up
is
a
like
star.
the cast to me is just all over the fucking place, and that kind of
Yeah, I
fits
feel
for the,
exactly the same.
It kind of fits for the game. The game's kind of like it's a post-apocalyptic, super stylized thing, so it's kind of all over the place too. But like from what people that I've talked to that have played the games, like say the casting is completely all wrong. Like so many things are just like not anything. Like Kevin Hart's character in the game is like some big fucking dude, and it's like got Kevin Hart. Like,
I
the
mean,
opposite of that.
maybe they're like that's intentional. You know?
Yeah, you
I
have
don't-
to kind of think so.
Yeah.
you
It's
know?
just occurred to me that you guys are talking about a video game. And
Yeah.
I guess that's what Borderlands is a video game.
It's just shit like it's
I've never played any of the games.
One thing I will say is the last thing I'm ever going to take is movie review about a video game based movie from a person who loved the video game.
Oh,
I don't give a
No.
shit
No,
what that
Do
person
not
has to
listen.
say.
It's
that
all
person.
I'm saying is like it's not the guy didn't give me any kind of review. He hadn't seen the movie yet, of course, but just generally
Yeah,
comparing the characters from film to what they were,
yeah.
which doesn't necessarily matter anyway. But
No, I have hope because of Kate Blanchett, Jack Black, and Jamie Lee Curtis.
I'm sure it'll be
But
entertaining.
it kind of balances out with Eli Roth and Kevin Hart. So
Yeah.
we'll see.
Yeah.
And then most excited is a new horror movie called Cuckoo. This is starring Hunter Schafer from Euphoria.
Okay.
Also has Dan Stevens in it. I feel like you guys have seen. One of you has maybe talked about this. Saw the trailer. I'd look up like if there's like a 60, maybe 60-second, 90-second trailer. Watch it, but don't watch a bunch of it. It honestly looks really fun. So I'm excited for that.
Well, if it's fun, then it's like horror movies kind of have to be fun.
Yeah, it looks like a little like campy, like tongue in cheek.
Yeah.
Not in a Scream way,
Right.
but like more like a Evil Dead kind of way.
Sure.
Yeah.
Okay.
So I'm excited. I'm hoping
Right
to see that this weekend. And I'll let you guys know if you should spend your time on it.
Terrible title.
And then the following week, Cuckoo. That's not terrible. You're a bad judge of characters.
It's kind of a stupid title. Like
next week is Alien Romulus.
Yeah.
That's
Which is
the only thing it's
exciting.
showing coming out, and I'm hoping to see that day one in IMAX, and God, I'm very excited for that movie.
Yeah, I'm super stoked.
Okay,
All right.
that's it. John,
All right, so I was, like I said, I had a thought in mind, but it was too similar to the movies you've already watched. So I was hemming and hawing. I think I came up with a double feature that I'm just gonna get a couple of band-aids ripped off of some stuff that I.
this doesn't sound good.
No,
We're ripping off band-aids?
no, I'm just saying, like,
more like Godfather type band-aids, right? Stuff we need to watch at some point.
Yeah, something that was gonna be picked sometime, and I just feel like it's a good timing because like we just watched. I mean, not serious movies, still comedies, but yeah, I didn't want to do anything too similar, too close together. So, and stuff that I just wanted to do, the features are going to be Brain Damage, which Dustin has seen some of. And then alongside Brain Damage, one of my favorite super over-the-top, not really degenerate, just over-the-top and kind of wacky sci-fi B movies, Forbidden World.
Okay. Yeah.
Nice.
So,
It looks
Forbidden
like Brain
World.
Damage is on Shudder.
yeah.
Maybe a few other places also. And Forbidden World 1982, does that sound right?
1982.
Is
Brain Damage is
on
classic.
Prime Video.
Yep. There
One
we
of the
go.
Well
best
as Fubo.
blowjob scenes in cinema history.
So, we're going to see...
Take that, House of the Dragon.
Yeah, we're going to see some schlock here. I just had to schlock it up
Nice.
for a week.
Oh, hell yeah! This is 77 minutes long. And an hour 26 is Brain Damage. And this is going to be less than 3 hour double
Yeah.
feature.
Yeah.
Hot
It's going to
damn!
be nice, fun, breezy. Lots of laughs. So, all
These
right,
two
yeah.
movies are less than one Godfather.
All right, yeah, that's it.
Awesome.
All right. Well, episode 34 will be Brain Damage and Forbidden World.
Yeah, classic stuff. Thanks for tuning in.
All right. Peace out, everyone.
Bye.